listeners, and welcome back to Dragon's Greed Gaming. It is I, your host, the Great Unclean One. Wanted to welcome you to the show and just take a moment here to remind you, be sure you stop by our Facebook page and follow us there for all the latest news on the channel and our ever-growing amount of shows. If you can, we appreciate if you can stop by iTunes and Apple Podcast, give us a 5-star review, help us grow the channel, and help us get out in front of more people as we continue to expand. Also, be sure you stop by our YouTube channel. We've finally got some real video content we're starting to produce, and be sure you subscribe and hit that little bell to get all notifications when we have new episodes coming out. We're still putting out all of our actual play series, but we've got real video series coming out as well, with more planned for the future. And finally, if you're a big fan of the show, if you want to help support us a little bit more, consider joining our Patreon, Dragon's Greed Gaming. We have a couple different tiers you can check out. Get yourself access to early access to our weekly episodes, monthly artwork from Kyle, get your name up on our Wall of Heroes wall, or check out our Patreon-only exclusive actual play series that we do once a month, a Warhammer Fantasy actual play series called Tales from the Old World. There's something there for everybody, and for a couple bucks, toss a couple coins in the Dragon's Hoard and help us out. But however you choose to support us, we appreciate, even if you're just listening, first-time listeners, new listeners, or old veterans, old raving fans. We appreciate each and every one of you guys, and hope you enjoy tonight's show. Thanks so much. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back. It is us, Dragon's Greed Gaming. Thank you so much for joining us on our final installment of Blade Runner Electric Dreams. Last we left... Well, I guess before we get into that, as usual, I'm the Great Unclean One, your host, your GM, and your game runner in this game, your GR. And I'm joined by our cast of Blade Runners as we dive into the final part of our investigation here. So we'll do a quick round the table as always. Tell us who you are, who you're playing, anything else you'd like to tell the listeners, and then we can dive right in. We'll start it off with our veteran, please.
That'd be me or Tyler.
That's damn, bro. Way to call us out. Who is it? Who is Chris thinking is the veteran, me or Kyle?
I was referring to the veteran in-game, but...
Oh, in-game.
I think Kyle's been on more episodes than me probably at this point.
Well, maybe not. I don't know. I'll go first.
You're the veteran, Kyle. You go.
Okay. I'm Kyle. I will be playing veteran Inspector Silas Holbach, and yeah, it's excited to be here. Blade Runner's been so much fun, and I've been really diving back into like the Blade Runner cyberpunk type of atmosphere stuff. So having a good time.
Yeah, so far so good. I've been enjoying it myself, man. I really dig this game. I'd love to actually play it one day, but this might be something I bring to Gen Con this year. We'll see. All right, we'll go with our other veteran then after that.
Damn, guys. Yeah, I've been so excited every week to play this game. Like, I love our characters. I love everyone else's characters. I think it's so cool how we've worked as a team, and I love role-playing this. It's been like so different and so fun and just unique. And I love the world. I love the music. I don't know, man. It's been such an experience every week. It's been super fun to play as Detective Violet, and I look forward to wrapping it up.
Hell yeah. I'm interested now that we've got a little bit of inter-party turmoil and our curveball of last week with Matt's character. Matt, how you doing tonight?
Oh, just great. I'll be playing our quote fixer, unquote Hector Bantov.
Quote hostage prisoner.
Is definitely probably causing more problems than solving, but you know, maybe it'll all work out in the end, and he can regain his title of fixer. I think I don't know. Since we last talked, not a whole lot has happened. We've popped down to Palatine to celebrate Mother's Day early because I'll be stuck in Madison for an industry convention next week, and we got some Capri Deli, one of the best. Shout out to one of the best Italian places in the northwest suburbs, and
Is that the place that was by the shop back in the
it's
day?
sort of by the shop. It's up like Grand Road.
Okay, I think we
So
went there once. Yeah.
yeah, it's by the like Gators and the clock store.
Yep.
If that
Yep.
helps.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing beats a good deli, man. Good
Yeah.
stuff.
So that's been a lot of fun.
I just noticed on the map here, on the very far right-hand side, Atari Entertainment Center. How about that?
Oh my
Interesting.
God.
Well, goddamn.
Part of the Blade Runner curse.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's canon. And last but not least, our final detective who had a great interaction with the front runner of NPC for the year last week.
She's just such a champion. She's a trooper. She just keeps going. Yeah, I am Sean. I'm playing Garrick, and yeah, this has been a very interesting system and an interesting game, and I'm really enjoying it. So if we ever dip back into Blade Runner, I'll be very excited to continue.
Oh, we will. I can guarantee you that. There's no question about it. So
Good to hear.
maybe I'll give a crack at writing my own case file. We'll see. But
Ooh.
I'm your host, folks, and I don't want to take up any more of your time here because I've been chomping at the bit. Well, a lot, I should say, and I want to dive right in here. So we're gonna return to the rain-soaked city of Los Angeles, 2037. Last we left in our last session, our Blade Runners had been following up a few more leads as they try to find the missing Blade Runner Leah. And, well, quite a curveball came our way as Hector, who was trying to track down and speak with the Aurelian, the Animoid butterfly dealer, ended up spotting Styles. And after trying to chase him down, ended up in a 3-on-1 fight in an alleyway, and despite some incredible self-defense with the odds stacked against him, breaking a few fingers, his and an enemy's, he wasn't able to put that fight up forever, and eventually Detective Bantov was knocked out and taken prisoner, awaking later in some rundown building and having an interesting conversation with Styles. Meanwhile, Garrick met with Quell, who offered him a bit of a ultimatum, deal, whatever you want to call it. And Silas was going to go try to track down Hector, and Violet was supposed to go to the memory lab, but she decided against that and joined Silas. And the two of them have now discovered that Hector has disappeared and has set out a huge warning over dispatch that we have a missing Blade Runner. At this point, as that really gets underway and the APB for Hector gets issued across the city, we find that night is beginning to creep up across LA. We're entering the third shift of the day, and yeah, we are getting towards the end of day 2 here. Before we begin, though, one thing I forgot last week. This is something in the rules, so I think we did it in the last session, maybe not. But anyway, in Blade Runner, just like in Alien, there are situations that can cause stress to the characters. Unlike in Alien, though, it's not just take a point of stress because you encountered or dealt with something horrible. In this game, you can get more than 1 point of stress, but you have a chance to resist that by making an insight roll. I would like all of you to make an insight roll versus 1 point of stress for Hector being obviously captured. Hector, you're rolling this because you've been captured and you are in a awful situation. And for the other three, this is because one of your Blade Runners has gone missing during an investigation, just as you feel like you're getting towards the kernel of truth here. So it's only 1 point of stress, so you only need at least one success. Basically, every point of success will reduce a point of stress on these types of rolls. So everybody please give me an insight roll. And if you don't get any successes, then you will lose a point of resolve. You'll take a point of stress. And okay, it looks like
Wow, Garrett.
Yeah, is that a critical?
Mine
That
didn't
is.
roll.
roll
Nice.
it again.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Okay,
Nice.
so Violet and Garrick have criticals. You guys are fine. Silas, you've got 1, so you're good. Unfortunately, Hector with 0, you're going to take another point of stress as you find yourself, or point of resolve, whatever you want to call it, as you find yourself, strapped in here. So, Okay.
Cool. I could, in theory, push that, right? And then
you could, yeah, if you want
fall
to.
over dead.
As long as you don't roll any unicorns, you won't take any damage. You could be risking it, though.
I mean, I'll probably get 1 and 1, right? All right, let's do it. Yep, called it. Yes,
Wow.
you owe me a dollar.
No. Okay, so you
No
end up
change.
taking a point of damage anyway from the origami. Okay. So yeah, you overcome the stress, but only stress yourself out more when you try to not be stressed. So yeah, it's not looking good for Detective Bantov here. And speaking of the detective, I guess no, we'll start with the other group first, because we ended with Hector last week. So our other 3 Blade Runners who are not currently captured, what are you doing as the search for Hector gets underway? How are you proceeding with the investigation?
I believe Silas and Violet are still on location of his last known whereabouts, correct?
Well, that's where we were at the end of the last shift. So as we move into
Yeah.
the next shift, what are you guys going to do? You guys had all
Oh.
been speaking over Kia. You'd informed Garrick as he was on his way back from Wallace Corporation.
I mean, I don't think we had any leads to where he was, aside from knowing he disappeared in that area.
I was gonna go to the LAPD and then try to look at the Esper wall to see if we can see.
Where he went, what happened, and I think I was gonna follow up on Lilith Tyrell
Yeah.
with, presumably Hallbuck.
Yeah, at the memory lab.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
we can do that.
Okay.
All right. Well, Garrick, we'll start with you. So you sail over the city. Perhaps you stop by the scene and meet up with Silas and Violet in person before you guys split ways once the search gets underway. Fire up your spinner, and you make your way back to the LAPD tower. And once again, finding yourself putting in yet another request to access the Esper wall. So it is going to cost promotion points as usual.
I finally had 5. Okay.
Well, do really well tonight. And
Nice.
have 5 at the end.
Yeah.
Can I give him one, or do I have to
No,
be there
it's
as well?
fine.
No, I just let you guys do that last time because the person doing it didn't actually have any.
Okay.
That's fine.
Okay.
So, yeah, I'll spend 1.
Okay. All right. Well, you may give me a tech test with advantage here as you start, checking stuff out.
All right, I got 1 success.
Okay. Not great, but it's all that you need is 1. So you start sifting through the footage. You're finally getting the hang of this whole Esper wall thing. But there's a lot of footage to go through. and it takes you a little bit of time to find the timestamp where he is when he first shows up there on Anemoid Row. And what you do ultimately see is what Violet and Silas confirmed from the one girl who worked at one of the shops. You see that Hector starts to follow someone, which you very clearly immediately recognize has to be Styles. He's tall, he's in that black hoodie, and you see that when he turns the corner to that one corner right on the map that we were on, you see that someone bumps into him from behind. You see as he turns the corner, you get another angle from the camera. You see that he loses track of Styles, who books it down the alleyway that you guys eventually followed the trail to. Then another man comes up from behind him, and as he walks past him, he basically shoulder checks him. You can see the two then start having a conversation, and it looks like it gets a little heated. And then the guy who appears like he's going to walk away, you see Hector says something, and the man turns back towards him, gets right up in his face, pushes him. They have a few more words, and then out of nowhere, the guy just slugs Hector right in the face and takes off. At which point, Hector starts to chase after him, and he follows him down the alleyway. And as soon as you see him turn the corner, you realize that they've got to be setting a trap here. It's no coincidence. They get to the end of the alley. Well, actually, you wouldn't see what happens in the alley because the camera is only for the street. But you see that he turns the corner down that alley the same way that Styles went, and Hector follows after them. A couple minutes go by, maybe 5-10 at most, and eventually you see a figure emerge from the alleyway. They very cautiously come around the corner, look up and down the street, and then they begin to make their way across the street opposite of the alley. They disappear down another alleyway, and about a minute or two later, you see two more figures emerging, also wearing like dark jackets and hoodies, and you see that they are basically dragging / carrying Hector. They've each got one of his arms over their shoulder, like they're supporting him. But when you zoom in and you actually look, you can see that he appears to be unconscious or dead, and they're dragging him. You can see that his feet are just getting dragged. The tops of his feet are scraping the ground as they carry him. The first guy who comes out of the alley, you can see as he's walking, he's holding his left hand as if he's injured, and he's looking around kind of squirrely. And then when the other two come out of the alley, you can tell one of them is Styles because of how tall he is. You don't recognize the other two. You don't really get a good look at their face or anything like that. But they eventually disappear down that same alleyway that the first guy went through. After that, you start checking some more footage nearby, a couple other avenues and streets and angles, and you do not see anything else. You feel like if they had left anywhere on the street or through any alleyways, there's a pretty good amount of Esper coverage here that you would have seen them. So you feel like if they are still in that area, you've kind of narrowed down like the city block that perhaps they're in.
Gotcha. Okay.
And that's what mostly takes so long, is you watch all these other angles for quite a while, and up until basically the present time, you do not see anything.
Okay. I would let Violet and Silas know. Sort of like the area. Seems to be the area that they're hiding in. This like city block. So we need to narrow our search down to there.
Is there anything else you want to do while you're at the Esper Wall?
There wasn't any other like leads we had. Unless, yeah, no, not that I know of.
Is there anything else you want to try with the information I've given you? Anything else you want to try to ask or discover before we move on to the others?
Can I look through the lab, focusing on that single block? Can I look through and try to see if I can see styles or someone matching his build entering or exiting buildings?
If you want to give me another tech test, you can. You feel like you probably would have seen him by now, but I'll let you do another tech test to see if you can find something like that.
Okay.
Oh wow! Like randomly, I get updates here on my PC from like Reddit and stuff, and I just got one of somebody posting a piece of art of Rachel for Blade Runner.
Nice. I got one success. It did not roll at advantage though.
Oh,
Must have forgot that.
roll at advantage then.
Roll one more die or just re-roll?
You can just roll one more die. That's fine.
Come on, baby, give me that 6. Nope, a 5.
Are you happy with one?
Not really, but I'm not gonna get a better roll, I don't think.
What are you rolling?
Tech.
I don't see your. I only see a unicorn that showed up on your roll.
Oh shit! No, yeah, you're right. That's a fail. Then I will push. Oh well, if I push, yeah, I'll try.
Okay.
I'll try and push. No, and then the other D6.
Oh!
Double.
So you take 2 points of stress damage
Oh, brother.
as you push the roll here. By the time you're done with this, Garrick, you have a pounding headache. You're doing the thing where you're pinching the bridge of your nose between your thumb and forefinger, rubbing your eyes because you're zooming in and staring at like things at such a pixelated level at some points. But you don't find anything else that really gives you any other hints.
Cool. That's it for Garrick. He will let well know. Just
That
do
was my next question.
Yeah.
Have you informed her of what's going on?
Yeah.
You get a simple response that says, "Good. Keep me informed."
Good that my teammate's missing, or
You're not sure.
yeah, this is more to himself. Just this might have been a real big mistake, bud. And then yeah, that'll be it for me.
I guess she wouldn't have said good. She would have said understood.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, she would have said understood. Keep me informed. Okay. Well, we will then switch it over to our dynamic duo as they leave the scene of the crime and head towards the Lilith Memory Lab. So, do the two of you discuss anything on your way there as you're soaring through the city streets?
Let's figure out what our line of questioning is going to be when we get in there.
Well, I figure I'll let you run the show since you decide what you want to do in this case.
All right, that's fine with me.
Yeah, Silas is kind of gruff and he's got his crosswords out and he's just kind of going through it.
First off, I'm going to be blunt. I'm going to ask her what she knows about Leah and see
Yeah.
if that rings a bell. I'm going to state the case and what happened, and I'm going to see how what we can tell from that. And then if she's going to play hardball, we'll have to dig in deeper, but I'm just going to try and get to the root of it, see what she knows. Maybe she'll be cooperative, maybe we'll get a break. If not, that's where you come in.
Right. Yeah, I would say we should talk to her about the photograph. Maybe ask her if she has any significant feelings towards butterflies. I don't know. Just try and tie this all up.
You think that's a connection with her, the butterfly? You think that's her personal connection?
Anything with a connection to Leah, I don't know. I feel like they're overlapping somehow.
There is a connection. I don't know what it is, but you're right about that.
Yeah. I don't know much about this kind of memory stuff, but I intend to find out.
I think we're going to both find out a lot.
We haven't heard anything about Hector, right? Everybody's
No, at this point, no. There's nothing from the Force, and Garrick is probably just getting started at the Esper Wall by the time you guys get here. So,
So depending what she tells us, we can question her further, ask her if she knows who the Styles is or anything about the resistant movement.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of go from there. See if they'll get us any insight as to where Hector might be at.
Sounds good.
That's my reasoning. All right.
Well, you guys make your way to Sector 4, and you eventually get to the location of where the memory lab is. It's a very drab gray building in kind of an industrial area that looks mostly abandoned. This seems to be one of the only buildings that really has any working power or anything of that nature. As you guys set down your spinner, you're greeted by a big flight of stairs in front of you, right here. Okay, so the red lines just denote zones. Like, all the maps in this game have that. So if you were ever to have combat, that just represents, every movement lets you go from one zone to another. That's all the red lines are for. So or if you go like between doors to a room. So
Chris, I cannot see anything.
You guys don't need to because you're not there. So.
Okay.
So, yeah, so that's what the red lines are for. Those are just for zones. And it's probably black because you're at the bottom of the stairs and you have to get up the stairs to see it. So when you guys move up the stairs here, there we go, you see the front of the door. And I just want to move you here so you can see this. This right here is the sign that you see. There's a big yellow sign. It's like a rectangle, a horizontal rectangle. It's broken into 3 chunks, and it's kind of muted but brightly lit yellow. And there's 3 sections, and across the sections it says Lilith Memory Lab. And in front of you there is a set of double glass doors, and there's a large window on either side of those that appear to go into the front. You can see it leads into like a lobby area. You can see beyond the doors there is a desk where there appears to be an attendant standing, and there's a what looks like leather, you're not sure if it actually is leather, sofa, and a small desk, like a little corner table next to the sofa in here. Some sort of waiting room. What do you do?
I figure we'll walk in and go to the front desk.
Okay. When you get there, the door's locked. When you try it, you see that there's a little retinal scanner on the side, and there's also like a little speaker where you can basically ring to, open up a channel.
Oh yeah, we'll hit the ringer.
Yes, can I help you?
Hello, Inspector Silas Holbach, Inspector Violet Lee with the LAPD. I'd like to ask you a few questions.
Just a moment. And you eventually hear the door buzzes, and you can hear it unlock. You may proceed. So again, you enter inside. You can see you are in a fairly nicely clean, furnished room. there's a screen on your left, like a digital video screen. And then you see this man behind the counter. I'll give you guys ownership here in a second. So you see a man who is somewhat tall. He looks a little older and frail. He's clean shaven. He's got a very thick set of kind of squared glasses with angled corners, very thin frames, very prominent nose, and he's got very neat hair that, to you, it almost looks like it's dyed black, like it's maybe not the natural color, but otherwise he's wearing a nice professional attire, and you see that there is a name badge on his jacket that says Terry, and this is the man that you see.
Okay, well, Silas would kind of look over at Violet and give her a nod as to say, "You're on."
Mr. Terry, I understand it's a big ask, but our line of questioning is for Lilith Tyrell. I'd like to speak to her.
Oh, no problem at all, detectives. If you'd have a seat, I can go inform Miss Tyrell that you're here. Can I get you any refreshments?
No, thank you.
No, I'm all set, thank you.
Right. Well, just excuse me a moment. I'll be right back. And you see there's a door behind him, which he goes through. It looks like it leads into some sort of little office, and he disappears for a moment. While you guys are sitting here, you see the screen on the wall. It basically has promotional videos for Replicants and Wallace Corporation, and you see kind of like an infomercial of Lilith and her talking about designing memories for Replicants, things of that nature. Obviously, it's meant to be very cutting edge, very, uplifting, and this is, this is the future, that sort of thing. Silas, would you please give me I would say insight check here.
Alrighty. I mean, I'm gonna have to, right?
You gonna push?
You betcha. Here we go. No, even worse. Cool.
Ooh, so you take a point of stress.
Mm-hmm.
All right. There's something about Terry that seems familiar to you, but you can't put your finger on it. A couple minutes go by, and eventually he returns. Only this time he comes through the opening. It's a big hallway right here, and he steps around the corner and he says, detectives, if you'd care to follow me, I can bring you to Miss Tyrell. She's more than happy to answer any questions.
Yeah, Silas would get up and follow.
Okay.
Still giving him an eye though, trying to figure out where he knows him from.
All right. He says, please follow me. And he leads you guys around the corner and turns left. And you guys see that there is a long hallway that he begins to lead you down. Eventually, on the hallway, there's another hallway off to the right. You can see a few doors down there. And there's many doors down this hallway that he's leading you on the left and the right. And as you're going through, you're walking past clearly what are several different labs, research stations, and things like that. You eventually, he leads you almost, well, not all the way, about halfway down the hall to one door in particular that seems to indicate this is probably the main lab. And he opens this up and leads you inside, and there is a small desk on the right-hand side of this room. There's two chairs in front of it and a There's a big chair behind it, and then beyond that, there is another set of double glass doors. And when you're in here, are you coming with Kyle? Or are you just chilling out in the hallway? There you go.
Oh, I was looking at stuff. Yeah, sorry.
Okay. So you guys walk into this particular room, and you can tell that this is the main dome of the memory lab. The wall across from the door that you guys come through appears to be like a big window or some sort of screen. It's currently pitch black. And then eventually the window flickers. Again, you can't tell if it's a window or a screen, but you can see two children kind of flicker into existence like a hologram and then disappear. And then a moment later it happens again, and they kind of stay in focus this time. You can see one of them is a boy, one of them is a little girl, and this time when they manifest, they're on the floor drawing some pictures and coloring. They kind of fizz and fizz out and fizz back in, and this time they're looking up at you and they kind of giggle and laugh and wave. What do you two do?
Do they look like holograms, or they look real?
They look real, but they're flickering like holograms when they kind of disappear and reappear.
I'll observe, but I'm not paying too much attention to it.
Yeah,
All
Silas would lower his
Okay.
shades.
It's strange, but I don't know quite what to make of it.
Okay. Well, after a moment, you see that Terry puts his hand on the wall, and you see that there's like an outline of like a handprint, clearly some sort of like locking reader, and the door opens up, and he says, "Please come inside. She'll see you now." And inside, the room looks like almost like pitch black, but when you walk in, you can still see each other clearly, but it's like the entire room is just solid black. The door closes behind you, and you can tell that it is like a screen or like a window. So you can still see Terry on the other side, and it looks like he goes back to to his spot at the desk up front. And then after a few moments, you see, just kind of emerging out of the darkness, is Lilith Tyrell. She has some sort of strange device on her head that kind of comes down over her eyes like goggles, and she's got some sort of device in her hand that she's been pressing a couple keys and buttons on. And as she enters the room, or as she kind of just emerges from nowhere, the goggles kind of pop up, and she takes the device off her head and she puts it on this little stand that she walks by. And she walks forward and she introduces herself. Detectives, I'm Lilith Tyrell. I understand you wish to speak with me.
Lilith, Detective Violet Lee of the LAPD. I won't mince words or waste your time. We're looking into a case where 2 replicant Blade Runners have been involved in another murder, and Leah, our target, may have some ties to you or your company. And I show her the picture of Leah.
Okay. I'm going to give you access to her profile thing here. I don't know if I'd given you guys this yet or not, so... So what you guys see is an image that matches what you saw in the paper, I believe Hector had gotten. Is an older woman, probably in her 50s, maybe a little older. She's starting to show some age with some lines and wrinkles in the face. Her hair's beginning to gray a little bit. She's got kind of some silvering throughout her dark hair. She's wearing a white lab coat and just like typical dress pants and nice shoes underneath that with a dark shirt. She's got long hair that you're guessing probably goes past her shoulders, maybe even to the back of her, middle of her back, which is currently pulled up in a long ponytail. And she is the spitting image of an older version of Leah. The resemblance is uncanny. She says, "And how can I help you with your investigation, detective?"
Well, Miss Tyrell, we understand Leah had been in for several reevaluations. And given the uncanny resemblance, we wondered if you might be able to give us some insight to her origins, how she was created.
She says, "Do you have a model number? Registration number?"
If we have that piece, I believe we do.
Yeah, it's on one of the handouts I gave you guys. I think it's on her.
Yeah,
It's
yeah. I have it. It's LH3-7.93, Leah.
You see that she takes the device that she was holding. She goes back over to the table to get it, and then she walks back to join you guys, and she starts typing in that number. And basically, she can tell she's pulling up her profile. She says, yes. Yes, she was in for a recalibration after several failed baseline tests. Nothing out of the ordinary, especially considering the taxing work of a Blade Runner.
That's very true, but the question at hand is, why does she resemble you?
Gives you a humble smile, and she says, well, the Wallace Corporation decided that this particular line of models of these N9s would be based off of myself as the template. Many N9s are based off the template of an actual person in look, size, stature, and as an homage to my late uncle, they offered me such an honor, which I accepted.
Do you have any knowledge of your memories being used as core memories for the replicants' implanted memories?
I would never mix my own personal memories with those of my work. That would be unprofessional.
Perhaps you wouldn't, but maybe someone in the labs would, because am I able to pull up the photo that Leah had in her apartment of her as a child?
Sure. Yeah.
We found this photo inside her apartment. I have to imagine it is perhaps something from your history and not hers that was used as an implanted memory. This image, it all looked familiar to you.
She looks it over. She says, "Well, I can confirm this is from Leah's memory. This is her daughter, Dina. This was probably made as a Steeline scan, I would imagine. Something you need special equipment for."
Her daughter? I asked questioningly.
Well, yes, her daughter and her memories.
So
Whether
the
a
daughter-
memory's real or not, you can still have a Steeline scan made of such a thing.
Is there any significance of blue butterflies to you?
No.
Anything in particular that would go into her programming that would give her a want or need for them, or a penchant for them per se?
For butterflies? Not to my knowledge, no. I designed Leia's memory implants. Unremarkable early work of mine. Simple, happy family life in an off-world colony. Very basic things.
Is there anything, to your knowledge, that would cause her to perhaps go rogue and deny her programming, perhaps turning on others around her?
Impossible.
Why do you say impossible?
Because the memories that I create help keep replicants from doing such a thing.
And these failed baseline tests could be not seen or construed as evidence as to something faulty within the model.
No, these types of things fall within expected parameters of glitches and malfunctions and things like that. Nothing that can't be fixed.
Is there anything you can tell us of replicant resistance?
She kind of looks at you like she doesn't understand the question.
A group of perhaps replicants that have become more self-aware and have started turning on their owners or society.
You must be referring to the actual replicant resistance that we hear so much about here in the city.
Yes.
Well, I can't say for sure. I myself have never met any such replicant, but to my understanding, most of them are older models, mostly N8s, that are still out and, now illegal and on the run.
Well, if you have any or information about such a resistance or anything you could forward to us, both me and my compatriot would be in your debt. As to say, we're trying to find this member of our own and find out that she's alive and healthy and okay, or where she might be currently. Any and all information would certainly help us.
As she's about to reply, the door behind you guys opens, and you hear like a light giggle, and you see a young child kind of come skipping through the doors up to Lilith, and she kind of like grabs her around the leg, and she obviously, you can tell that she's Lilith's daughter, and I've got an image here. So you see a young child, probably around 8 or 9, about the same age as you would imagine Leah's daughter is in the photo that you have. They look kind of similar, but not as similar as Leah and Lilith do. But like her mother, she's got long, dark hair and dark eyes. And she kind of comes running in, giggling, and she looks, she kind of like wraps her arms around Lilith's leg. She kind of peeks out from behind her at you guys. And this is who you see that comes in. And you hear Lilith go, Sarah, you know you're not supposed to be messing around in here. Mommy's busy with work right now. And she says, I was just playing hide and seek. And Lilith says, we can play later, dear. Why don't you go sit with Terry up front and be a good girl and go with your drawings. And she says, oh, okay, Mommy. And she kind of looks the two of you over one last time and gives you guys a smile. And then she goes kind of skipping past the two of you. And,
sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead. Do you say or do anything while she does this?
I would, Silas would kind of put his hand out and say, it's so nice to meet you, little one. Tell me, who were you playing hide and seek with?
She stops for a minute, and she kind of looks you up and down. She's got like her hands like behind her back, And then she kind of stands up really straight with like a goofy smile on her face, and she holds her arm out really straight to you, like trying to be official. And she shakes your hand and she says, I'm Sarah. Who are you?
Well, I'm Silas, and would shake her hand back.
She goes, I like your hat, Silas.
He would smile and at this point finally kind of bend a knee and grunt while doing it.
That's right, bend the knee.
Yeah. And he would chuckle and go, well, thank you. It was my dad's. And he'd give it to her to hold if she wanted.
Yeah, she takes it and she says, can I try it on?
Sure.
All right. Yeah, she puts it on and it like, doesn't fit quite right and it like falls past like her eyes because it's, so much bigger made for your head than hers. And she kind of laughs and she kind of turns around to her mom and the hat is covering her eyes completely and she's like, look, Mommy, I'm a detective too. Violet, give me a insight check, please.
2 successes.
So you notice this whole time Lilith is very quiet. You can see that she tenses up a little bit when Silas starts to talk to her daughter, but she doesn't say anything. She holds her composure, and you can tell that she's obviously a very protective mother. You're not sure if it's because she's hiding something or because you guys are Blade Runners. Or just, she's just overprotective in general. But you can tell she kind of like bites her lip to let Sarah kind of do her thing. And she tries to like kind of fake a smile and a laugh. And she's like, oh, yes, dear. And she's like, no, why don't you give the good detective his hat back and go find Terry? And she says, oh, okay. And she gives you your hat back, Silas. She runs up to you like kind of over-exaggerated, like taking a lot of really little fast steps to get up to you, and then she takes the hat off and she plops it on your head, and then she goes, bye, Silas, it was nice meeting you.
Oh, it was so nice to meet you.
And she goes scampering out of the room.
Silas would look up at Violet while he was slowly getting up and kind of mutter under his breath, hide and seek. Silas would get up and then look at Lilith and say, besides you and Terry and your daughter, who else is here?
That's pretty much it. This is kind of a one-woman show. I mean, we have, janitor and things like that are here when we're closed, clean up the place. Not many others here these days. We were just getting set up here in Los Angeles, so I'm planning for expansion, but
it just seems odd to me that your daughter is playing hide and seek by herself.
And children do all sorts of strange things, don't they? Could be one of her imaginary friends.
That they do.
Could
Lilith.
Could I check that?
Sure.
Chris?
Yeah, give me an insight.
Okay.
This will be opposed.
Okay. It's one of my best rolls, so. Oh, hey.
What was this against? Was it manipulation? I specifically read this in the rule book too last week, or for tonight. And
I think manipulation is resisted by insight. I don't know about the other.
oh, that's right. That's right. This is just. You're right. This is an unopposed roll. My bad.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. So I got one success. I'm gonna stick with it.
You don't sense anything off about it when she says it.
Okay.
Lilith, do you mind me asking, is your daughter biological?
She is.
She's human.
She is.
I nod at that and I say, well, if you think of anything that might help us in our investigation, trying to look after one of our own. One that was created by, presumably, your hands. If you have any information that could help us.
She holds her hands up and she
Whereabouts?
says, I want to be perfectly clear, detectives. I did not create Leah. I simply created her memories. The Wallace Corporation created the actual replicant model and based it off of my appearance.
Sorry, Chris, I'm looking through my notes. Did we ever get Leah's key memory?
No, you have
Or-
not.
Silas would turn to Lilith and say, "Would you be able to access her key memory?"
Give me a manipulation roll, please.
Literally my worst one.
No.
Yeah, boys, here we go. Oh,
Hey.
This is opposed.
Yeah.
Well, you can't do much more because you can't reroll that, so you got 2. Okay.
Yeah.
She looks at you for a moment, and then she says, "Of course."
Silas wouldn't like give her a thank you nod.
She says, "It's nothing, as I said, it was an early work, not exactly, my best work, but, if you think it will help." And she walks over to the stand over here, and you see that there's a secondary like pedestal. There's a little control panel. She starts pressing some buttons, and eventually this whole room, the darkness dissipates, and you're no longer standing in this weird void. You're standing in this big dome structure, the exact same thing that you see in 2049 when Kay goes to the memory lab. But now you can actually see the ceiling and the floor and the walls and everything. And you see that there is several devices over here on the kind of the southeast wall. And they look kind of like chairs that you kind of stand up and like strap into. And it's kind of like a chair against the wall. And you see that one of them opens up, and she then looks to you, Violet, and she says, "Did you care to see the memory as well, Detective?"
Yes, I would like to.
She presses a few more buttons, and you see a second one of these chairs opens up, and she leads the 2 of you over there, and she says, "Please, have a seat, make yourself comfortable."
Well, we do it one at a time. You could go first, Detective.
Okay. Is that possible to stagger it?
She kind of heavily sighs, and she says, "Yes, I can do that."
Much appreciated.
Okay. Well, you strap in, and that's the last thing you ever see. Roll a new character.
Total
Okay.
recall.
I knew it.
I'm Quaid.
Got him.
Oh,
So-
you should do nested campaigns like that. Roll a new character, do that whole campaign, come right back to this point.
Oh shit.
Don't give me ideas. All right, so Silas, you get into it's the 2 closest to you that open up. So, you basically stand up against it, and then like an actual seat part kind of protrudes from the wall, like underneath you, and kind of forces you into almost a sitting position. And then there are restraints that come around your ankles and then around your wrists, and it kind of holds you in place. And then she moves forward, and Violet, you know that this is a normal device. This isn't any weird torture bondage thing. This is an actual machine that you would know, being a replicant. It's a real thing. So she then brings this device down that comes over your head. It sort of looks like a half of a sphere, Silas, and it goes over the top of your head and your eyes. There's a bunch of cables and wires and stuff that come out of it and go up into the machine. And she says, "Just sit back, try to relax. This will probably... Have you ever experienced a replicant memory before?"
First time for everything.
It will feel like you're there, but you will be completely fine. Just remember that this is just a manufactured memory. None of it is real. So she straps you down, brings the device over your head, and then she walks back over to the pedestal over here, and you see that she starts to input some commands. Violet, you can see that the machine begins to fire up, lights are going on and off, and Silas, for you, it's like you are engulfed in that black void again. The lights, both in front of you and in the actual lab that you're standing in, Lilith, or Violet, dim, and all you can see are the glow of the machinery. You can still see Lilith standing over by the control panel, although it's like she's standing in just a black void. And Silas, you then feel like you're kind of almost plunged like into water. It feels like all of a sudden you're surrounded by something. Now, what happens is first you hear a voice. You hear a young girl say, "Mommy, you can't catch me." And then it's almost like, even though your eyes are open, it feels like your eyes actually open. You see that you are in this spacious, beautiful hallway of a very gorgeously decorated building. There's golden sunlight beaming through the windows. And beyond that, when you look out the window, you see these sandy dunes, kind of reddish in color. And you turn, and you see Dina. You see Leah's daughter, and you see as she just finishes saying that, she starts running away from you, laughing, kind of beckoning you to chase her. You can tell that this is a happy time. You guys are playing some sort of game. She wants to show you something. And as she runs, it's like the hallway that she's running down, the room that you're in is complete, but the doorway, the opening to the hall that she runs down, seems to look like more of this inky blackness. And when she runs past that threshold of the opening between this room and the hallway, it's almost like she disappears. You chase after her, and as you run through this darkness, it feels again like you're plunged underwater, surrounded by something. As you feel like you kind of break the surface, so to speak, you find yourself in another room, and this time the scene is far different. The window is shattered. There's no longer peaceful beams of sunlight, but a dark haze that's come over the landscape. There's a loud sound of whipping wind, and you can see dust clouds being kicked up from these red sandy dunes. Then, it feels like the building shakes. Some loose glass falling off the window, a picture falling off the wall, things falling off a nearby desk, and there's a loud bang. It sounds like an explosion. You hear shouts, screams from all around you as if there's multiple people either here or nearby, and you turn to your side and you follow these noises. You run through a doorway, and as you do, you see 4 men in black ski masks, all black outfits, and they've got firearms. They're opening fire on people that they're like just beyond your vision. You hear them screaming as they're being shot at. Then you hear one ear-piercing, soul-shattering scream of your daughter. And you turn and you catch, as she's running towards you, bullets rip into her, causing her to spin as she's running towards you. Arcs of blood splatter across a nearby sofa, and you feel something warm and wet splat across your face. And you see your daughter falls to the ground and is still. And as you scream, these men turn towards you, and everything goes black. Violet, you see clearly the memory starts for Silas, and he seems to be smiling at first. And then you see that he's kind of shaking a little bit. His fists clench into balls, and you can see his smile turns to an open, slack-jawed of shock. And then you hear him scream, and then you can tell the machine begins to power down. And as the helmet comes up, Silas, you're back in the memory lab, and you can feel that you yourself are still finishing a scream that's like caught in your mouth, and it feels like you're breaking the surface and finally able to breathe after suffocating. Please give me a insight check versus 2 points of stress.
Oh no.
Jesus.
You feel like you just watched your own daughter get murdered in front of you.
I mean, I can't. I gotta. Oh my!
Oh no!
Oh my god.
I'm broken.
Double origamis. Are you broken?
I'm broken.
Oh my goodness.
Holy shit.
Yeah, that shit wrecked me.
Okay. Well, folks, we have to roll on the mental trauma table now. As soon as I find it. Okay. Do you have access to the critical hits folder in the core rules under rollable tables?
I have critical injuries, critical stress effects.
Yep, so you're going to do critical stress effects for humans.
Okay.
So there's different ones if you're a human or a replicant.
To live in fear. You're paralyzed by fear or indecision. You just can't force yourself to do anything at all, even to the point of putting your own life in jeopardy due to your inaction. So,
Okay.
yeah, I'm just like catatonic.
All right, I think we put this on your character sheet. Let me double check here. Yep, okay. So when the device comes off of his head and the restraints open up, Violet, you can see that Silas looks physically shaken and like he's seen a ghost. At this point, Lilith is walking over and she puts a hand on your shoulder, Silas, and she says, "Detective, it's not real. You're okay. You're safe."
Silas, are you okay?
So am I able to like?
I'm looking it up right now, Kyle,
Yeah.
because I just want to be sure. Obviously, this is the first time we've had a,
Yeah,
a
it
critical
just
injury.
says you're paralyzed by fear or indecision. You can't force yourself to do anything at all. So does that mean even like responding?
Let me check.
Yeah. Shit.
Damn. I was not
I
expecting
was
that.
murdered.
Yeah, you're probably grasping your chest a bit too, feeling like you've been shot,
Yeah.
even though you haven't.
Dude, I really lost like 4 in a row this session, I think.
God.
Yeah, man.
Don't you have extra stress too because of one of your talents?
I have 1 extra stress, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks for reminding me. Yeah.
Well, I came into it down 2, so I was already.
Okay. So when you have suffered stress equal to or in excess of your resolve rating, you are broken by stress and suffer a critical stress effect immediately. Roll 1 base dice corresponding to your empathy rating and check the result in the relevant table. Okay, so there's 6 possible results, but the higher the empathy you have, it basically, if you get a 6 or higher, a 6 or higher is the best result. So rolling low on this is bad. You rolled a 1, which is the worst result.
It sure did.
Okay, so yeah, your empathy. Let's just make sure the game did this right. What is your empathy attribute?
Empathy is a C, D8.
It rolled a D6.
Yeah.
Let me just check this, because it's probably... Yeah, because it's rolling on the table, that's why. Okay. So now we know for the future. You would have rolled a D8, but doesn't matter, you still rolled a 1. So,
Sure did.
Let's just make sure I'm doing this right. Yeah, so you don't add anything, it's just you could potentially roll higher than a 6. Okay. Yeah, it says the same thing. You're paralyzed by fear, indecision. You can't force yourself to do anything at all, even to the point of putting your own life in jeopardy due to your inaction. I think you can still speak, but you're pretty much shaken to the core right now.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, Silas would be probably working with a 3-second delay into any sort of like questioning, like he's just in his mind. So Violet and Lilith both asking him, he's just I don't know, and just like keeps trailing off.
Do you have your signature item with you?
My signature item is a tombstone, so no.
How are you supposed to use that?
Okay, well, you can't do that right now, so...
I pull up a picture of my dad's tombstone.
Save you the receipt for when you got it.
Yeah.
Just
No, that
carry
would
it around
give
like,
him more stress, trust me.
Yeah.
carry it around like Blaz does.
Yeah.
Or like Michael Myers.
Is that a
Yep.
coffin?
I was gonna say fucking Judith Myers.
Judith,
Tombstone.
Lilith, same thing, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you can still respond, we'll say, but you can't really take any tests or do any actions, other than like walk around, but you can't do any skill checks, basically, we'll say.
Okay. Well, Silas. So, was Violet watching the whole thing? Does she have to go through it herself, or?
She did
Did
not
she-
see any of that. She was only able to see your reaction because it was displayed through the machine. So you can describe
Oh.
it to her, but if she wants to see it in the same detail, she'd have to go through it too.
Okay. I'd hit. Silas would hit the high points, but then he'd look at Lilith and say, "You gave her a memory of having a daughter who looks like yours, and you gave her a memory of her daughter dying."
It's our new... She seems to search for the right words. It's our new design philosophy. Control through trauma. Traumatic memories keep the replicant from trying to disobey or break out of their programming. When such an urge comes over them, they're reminded of this traumatic memory. It keeps them from going rogue.
Well, the replicant whose memory I just went through went rogue.
Doesn't seem like that's the case. Seems like, in this case of Lee, it's the opposite. His trauma may have caused her to go rogue.
Yeah, I think Silas would keep repeating to himself, but he would look up to Violet and say like, they just look the same. They look the same.
They look similar, yeah. You can tell they're not identical copies,
Yeah.
Hallbeck, but I mean they're both, small Caucasian girls with long dark hair and dark eyes, so
Yeah, they're like they're same age-ish, right?
yeah, you'd imagine probably between like 8 and 10.
Okay. Yeah, he just keep being like, he just keep repeating that she got shot. He's still trying
Lilith,
to
if
break
you
out of
have
it.
a way we might track her, anything in your database that could give us information where her whereabouts might be, it could help us bring her in alive and not in any other sort of trouble she might be mixed up in.
I'm sorry to hear that she's in such trouble, detectives, but I do not have any way to track them. That would be something that the Wallace Corporation may have the capability to do, but I have no such power, no such influence.
Do you help us bargain with the Wallace Company?
She looks like she's not sure how to respond to that, and then she finally says, "Do they know that you are even investigating this?"
They've started the investigation, but they haven't been so helpful.
I'm not sure what I could do to change their minds, but if you need me to vouch for you, I suppose. I would imagine if they could track her, they would have already done that.
Here's the problem. They don't want any negative press about their models. If the
Of course
story
not.
got
So wouldn't they
blown
have
over
tracked
that,
her if they knew where she was and have you retire her?
I think they want to fill in a narrative.
I'm not sure what you expect me to tell them to think otherwise.
Sorry, I guess I thought you could be of more help to us. Well, Agent Silas, if you have any other questions for Miss Tyrella, if not, I'll thank you for your help thus far, and we'll see ourselves out.
You're welcome,
Yeah.
detectives. Take care.
Yeah, I don't think Silas is in his head.
I'll help, Silas get to his feet and, help escort him out if he's having trouble.
Okay. Well, you guys get back in your spinner and head back to wherever it is you may head next. Meanwhile, we'll switch it back over to Hector. Hector, you're still pretty banged up, still not doing too hot, and you probably pass out for a little bit longer as you kind of just are exhausted and overwhelmed by everything. When you come to, so this is another shift later, but you're not sure how long you've been out. I believe you're going to heal because you have been resting here, if I recall, technically. We'll get to that in a moment, I suppose. But
Being unconscious is just the body's way to telling you need rest.
yeah.
That's what concussions are for.
So yeah, you're going to get a point of health back because a shift has passed. Oh, I'm sorry, you heal 2 because you're a replicant. Oh no, wait, that's for downtime. So you just get 1 back, I think. Unless you see something else. But yeah, you get 1 back. You do have a point of health back as you come to. You see that they have put the bandana back over your eyes. But you do hear some people speaking. You recognize the voice of Styles. You also recognize another voice. But this time, rather than sounding like a frail old man, the voice of the Aurelian sounds much more confident and youthful. Sounds like they're probably in the other room, probably whispering. Give me a observation test, please, to see what you can make out from this conversation.
Alrighty. I
Okay.
got one.
So it's just on the edge of your hearing, but perhaps being a replicant, that's all that you need. You can hear the two of them speaking back and forth. And the Aurelian says, "Where is she now?" Styles replies, "I don't know. I told her to lay low until it's time to leave. Not sure where she's at. She hasn't been back. I don't know if she knows that we've got the cop and she got spooked, or if she's just out doing whatever, but I don't know." And the Aurelian replies, "That's not good. I'm worried. She's supposed to be here till it's time to go. That's her ticket out of here. She just needed to sit still." And Styles replies, "Yeah, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, last I spoke to her, she seemed angry, like something wasn't finished." And then the Aurelian says, "Yeah, I sensed it too in her voice." "Well, I suppose if you hear from her, you let me know." And the conversation goes on maybe for a little bit longer, but not too much more information to gain from that. Do you do anything? Also, I should have pointed out, you are allowed, if you want to, you can try to break free. You can try once per shift. So you could have tried last shift if you so desire to try to break free before you passed out.
Yeah, I think in that time I was sort of like chatting a bit, trying to scope things out, see how high up the apartment technically was, if I wanted to try to escape by jumping out of a window,
Okay.
which I think is still, unless there's been any other revelations on that side.
You
potentially.
you can't tell how high up you are. You don't feel like you're that high up, but it's hard to tell for sure. Did you want to try to at least break yourself free, even if you're gonna kind of play coy and remain sitting?
Yeah, I guess how tied up am I really?
So it's your hands are behind your back, like kind of through the chair, and then each of your legs are tied to the foot of the chair or the leg of the chair. So I will need a force roll if you want to try to get some of these loose or break them.
Okay. And I just came to a second ago, so I don't know if like who's coming or going necessarily.
No, not at this point. You've kind of lost track when you dozed off.
Okay. And with the conversation at the edge of my periphery, that would be like they're in at least a full room away or something.
Yeah, you're assuming that it's
Just
probably the
around the
kitchen. Just because when you were in here before, the other two doors were closed, and the kitchen doesn't seem to have a door. If it does, it wasn't closed, and it is coming from that right-hand side, over by that opening.
Okay, so it's still kind of
And you can tell you're facing the same way. They haven't like moved you really.
okay. Interesting. Yeah, I guess I do want to definitely try to loosen bonds if possible.
All right, give me a roll of force, please.
Sure. Woof.
Wow.
3 successes?
Okay, so
Dude, he levels the building.
perhaps just before you passed out, or maybe even right now, you are very easily getting these binds off of you. The hands are the trickiest part, but the legs take. You realize you try to like pull them forward, and that doesn't work, and then you realize if you just lean the chair back a little bit, it's not easy, but you're able to basically slip your legs down, and you're tied to the chair, and the rope or whatever's tying you slips down past the leg of the chair. So the things are still around your legs, but they're very loose now, obviously, and you're no longer tied to the chair, and you manage to get your hands loose as well.
Okay. I guess I know that some of my stuff is over on the counter, but I wanted to take a beat and see if I still had my key item, the photograph, on my person, which would normally be in a jacket pocket, but
Right.
if,
Well,
depending on
why
how
don't
thorough.
we take our break here as you've broken out? You can decide how you want to proceed, and then the rest of our team can decide what they're going to do as well. So we'll be back in a few minutes. We're back, listeners. Really quick, I realized that we had been missing a rule, which is actually really important here. You actually gain a point of health and resolve every shift automatically as your body heals. So everybody would have had one more health and resolve, which means Silas would be down to 1 resolve right now. He's actually not broken. So we have rectified that. He has 1 resolve remaining. He's still pretty shooken up by all that, but you can still act as need be. So Hector, you've overheard this conversation between the Aurelian and Styles. What do you do? You're basically you're free at this point. You can get up and get out and walk around if you'd wish.
Yeah, I'd like to sort of check my pockets really quick, look back at my gear, and see if I have my memento, the photograph of me and my mentor.
Are you taking the blindfold off?
I'll sort of like prop it over one eye a little, like lift
Okay.
it up so that I can see, but not so much that it looks like I've taken it fully off.
Okay, but otherwise you're kind of just staying in the chair and trying to pretend that you're still tied up?
Yeah, if I can check
Okay.
my pockets that way, that
Sure.
I'll try to see about it.
So you're checking for your signature item, I'm sorry?
Yeah,
And what is your signature item? A photograph, you said?
it is a photograph.
It's not on you, no.
Nerds.
You do see your stuff is still over here on this little cabinet.
Okay.
You can't tell if the photo's there, because it's flat, but all the other stuff is there.
And behind me is like, what is this? On the far west side, it's like a
Okay.
fireplace or something.
Yeah, here's what I'm gonna do. I do have a handout for this. So, Matt, I'm gonna reveal this to you, and I'm gonna do a mental countdown here because you're just quickly looking around and you don't have time to actually investigate this thoroughly. All right. So I'm gonna trust you here. When I tell you to, I want you to close this image after you're done. Other player, well, actually, I can just show it to you. So, oh, can I? Here we go. Okay. So I'm gonna show this to you as you look around. What you're gonna see is you'll see the piano basically here, and you'll see like the table and the sofa and stuff. So when you see this picture, just imagine you are basically in between the piano and the coffee table that's like in the middle of this photo. All right, that's where you're strapped, and you are looking in the direction of the piano. You can't really see it in the photo, but the door that's right here is underneath the chandelier that's in this photo, but the light kind of blurs it out. So I'll give you a chance here to look at this, and I'll tell you when to close this after you've had a chance to look around. All right, close the photo. You can ask me any questions based on what you had a chance to see.
Well, I had a like postcard that said Hollywood or a magazine?
Yes, you do see a postcard that was over on the corner of one of these tables or stands or something. You did recognize the Hollywood sign on it.
Okay. I don't know. There was a tea kettle. I don't really have any questions about that.
Yeah, it looked
Uh.
it was not steaming, so if there is tea in it, it's long since gone cold.
Okay. Crepes. Okay. If they're in the kitchen, I wonder where these doors go. I think I'm gonna go for it really quick, which
Okay.
is sort of loosen myself and scoop my gear off of the desk.
Okay. Are you just booking it, or are you trying to be quiet?
I'm gonna be quiet at least
Stealth
until we
test,
get to
please.
oh god. That's not my jam. Well, I'm gonna have to take that. No bones
get?
about it. It's one success and sort of a non-effective unicorn, but it locks me out of pushing.
Okay. It doesn't lock you out of pushing.
That doesn't literally, but
Well,
I
it
think...
does in this case because you're rolling a d8, not a d10. If that was a d10, though, you
Oh,
could.
the 10 has the
You
twos.
could the double, yeah, but
Yeah.
okay.
Okay.
All right. So that's one. This is opposed. All right. So you start creeping towards the countertop, the bookshelf. Yeah, it's like a bookshelf or a dresser in this picture. You get right past the sofa, and as you do, there's a loud squeak, creak in the floor, and you hear the two of them stop talking, and you hear the Aurelian go, "What was that? Did you hear that?" Siles says, "I'll check it out." He's probably maybe he's waking up. What do you do? You're halfway across the room to your stuff. You can see now that you're standing. You see two things that are very obvious. You do see the photo is tucked underneath like your Kia and your wallet and your badge. It is there. Looks like all your stuff that you had is there. And almost as if being framed by this light that's coming from a little desk lamp, there is a piece of paper that appears to be like taped or stapled to the front of this dresser. And it looks like it's been like torn out of a book or maybe torn from another piece of paper. What do you do?
I guess I don't have eidetic memory necessarily, but I'll peek at that briefly. But I think I'm gonna scoop up my stuff and randomly. Should I randomly try a door? I think I will in this far corner.
Okay. So you're grabbing your stuff and just taking a peek at the piece of paper?
Yeah, I'm mostly gonna leave, I think, if possible.
Okay. All right. We will get to the paper later. We'll do an insight check later to see what you managed to glean from it. Okay. So you get over here. You may move over there and open the door if you wish. And you see that it is another, it looks like maybe a bedroom at one point. There is another old crumbling fireplace across from you. There's a door on the left and right of the room, and you see some crumbling furniture in here. Just to your left as you walk in, there's another old dresser, and then over on the right here is like a mirror that's been badly smashed and damaged. Looks run down like the rest of the building.
Okay. I think I'm gonna continue away from the kitchen, like to the west door.
Okay. All right. As you give me another stealth, unless you're just booking it.
I don't know. He's coming through there. I mean, I might as well until I get the thing open. Might as well keep him guessing. and slowly close the door that I left.
Oh, that'll definitely be a
Just that
stealth
out.
test then.
Oh my
Yeah.
god, yeah. Okay. Oof.
Nothing.
What's the chance of a full brick? All right, I'm gonna push. All right, nothing.
It's the exact same roll, I think. You push again. You're a replicant. You push twice.
All
Yeah,
right,
man. Go
might
for
as
it.
well. Hey, I
Nice.
got one.
Oh yeah, push that
Oh,
push.
fuck,
All right.
5 dice and only 1 success. We're having a rough night, boys.
Okay. So you close the door. You don't think that you make any noise, and as you do hear Styles go, "Ah, shit!" And you could hear him running across the room, and then you hear the Aurelian go, "What is it?" And he's gone. We'll find him. And well, what do you do next? That's what you hear. They're obviously not being quiet.
Oh wait, I'm gonna open this door.
Okay. All right. You see another bedroom. There's an old crumbling bed. You see windows ahead of you with some light shining through from some of the signs outside. And there's a door. If you step up to the doorway, there's another door to your left.
Okay. I'm gonna, I guess, quickly close this one and look out the window. And maybe prepare to jump out of it.
It looks like, let me just look at my picture here. I know you're not on the ground floor, but you're not stupidly high up, but you're not on the ground floor. Where is it? Safe house. You are, there's definitely fall damage here if you fall. Here, I'll show you the picture and you tell me. You change this to everybody. You can see here, looks like you are probably on the 4th floor.
Okay, that's very high.
Yeah, where you see the red in the picture, that's where you're located. So, if we're counting the ground floor, you're 5 floors up. If you're being Ernie and trying to ambush us by giving us false information about what the fuck the ground floor is, then you're only on the 4th floor. But
Forever salty about that.
yeah.
Oh boy. Mm-hmm.
You now hear the Aurelian go, "Check over there. I just heard something." And you can hear Styles, clearly heavy footsteps, running and moving closer towards you.
Okay. I'm gonna go through this room in the south end.
Are they stealthing it again? Or just running?
I'll stealth it, sure.
Okay, 1 success. Okay, you open the door. You find that you are in a dead end. It is a bathroom.
Awesome.
Old and crumbling. And you then hear one of the doors slam open, and you hear Styles shout, "Where'd you run off to, Bantov?"
I guess
Perhaps better yet, Hector!
Hey, he knows your name.
I'm gonna close the door to the John and lock it if possible, and
Okay.
stash the I'm gonna phone on the Kia. I was like, "Hey, it's Hector. I'm in a safe house in Hollywood.
Hey,
Blah
let me
blah
in.
blah.
Unlock the door. Boom, boom, boom.
I'm taking a shit. Just a second."
Okay, he's gonna try to kick down the door.
Oh shit!
All right. Oh.
2 successes. The door shatters as Styles' massive frame kicks it in. All of you get this message that Hector sends, and let's roll initiative. All right. So he kicks down the door, and he says, "Damn it! All you had to do was sit still." And he runs forward and basically tries to tackle you and knock the Kia out of your hand. Give me a hand-to-hand, please.
Wow, I've got
All
a
right.
thing here.
That's a
Oh,
crit,
I'm
though, right?
I didn't. That was me. I didn't roll hidden. My bad.
Oh, well, that's great because my hands are broken or whatever, so I have
All right.
disadvantage.
It's not a critical though because you have a success. So he does
Okay.
hit you. You have to have 2 successes more in order to get a crit. So it's 2 to 1. So he does hit you though. You are going to take a point of damage as he basically like tackles you. He like spears you up against the sink, and basically right in your lower back, gets smashed into the sink, and it fucking hurts as he kind of like almost bends you over backwards into the sink. Your hand like flies up and smashes against the mirror, and it is your turn. All right, what are you gonna do, Hector?
I don't know. That was pretty much. I was hoping to jump out. I think I'm just fucking dead. Goodbye, everybody. Rip.
Did you take your point of damage?
Yes.
Okay.
The. And
Sorry.
yeah. I have like one fucking goddamn second here.
Another banger combat music.
Oh, we got a bunch from White Bat. They're all really good. All right, what's it gonna be, man?
I don't know if you fucking break out of combat or whatever. So he did damage to me, and I still have my. Am I holding on to stuff still, or?
Yeah, he didn't have enough successes to knock it out of your hand, so we'll assume you still have it.
Okay.
He's obviously trying to restrain you, but you know you're putting up an okay fight.
I don't really have the gas to kick it. I guess. What? Christ. What if we did? Break for it. I don't know. How can I break away from him?
You just do a mobility test. If you pass, you are able to disengage.
I'm not great at mobility, but I don't think I can do a hand-to-hand here with a broken hand. So here we go. I'm gonna roll it. Oh,
Okay.
Nice one.
Yeah, I think that's all you need. I don't think
Oh.
you need. I don't think it's a pose. I think it's just. It's like it's kind of like an alien. You just make the test, and either you pass or you fail. So, you pass. You may get away from him and run.
All right, I'm gonna go as full tilt as much as possible to
Okay, you can get into the second room.
blast through here. Whoops, not like that.
You see, he came through the door that you came through.
Well,
Wait, are you
that's-
heading for the other one?
yeah, I'm gonna try this other door.
Okay, you can open it this round. All right, you see a main hall. Looks like a foyer. There's a door across from you. There's a door to your left and right. You can tell the door to your right goes back into the room you were being held in. On Styles' turn, he chases after you, and he tries to basically grab you from behind with a collar. Tries to put you like in a chokehold. Not so fast. Oh, sorry, it's supposed to be private. It's fine.
I see what I do hand-to-hand then.
Yep.
All right. Ow. Come on.
Oh, so close.
God dang it.
You gonna push?
Push.
Can I push if I'm defending? I know we.
Oh
been
no, you
waffling
can't.
on that.
That's right, you can't. All right, so he grabs you, and he's gonna try to restrain you right now. He's basically grappling you. So, on your turn, all you can do is try to break free, which is going to be a hand-to-hand, unless you have another idea. I'll let you get fancy if you come up with something clever.
No, I don't think so. I think I'm going
Okay,
hand
just give me the hand-to-hand.
Hey.
Okay, got one. He has 2.
Great.
Yeah, you can see he's rolling 2 d12s here. He's pretty broly. Okay, so you are going to take another point of damage then as he's starting to put like a sleeper hold on you. You try to put your foot up against the wall to give you some leverage, and he just smashes you forward and kind of bangs your head into the wall. He's like, just stop struggling. I don't want to hurt you. On his turn, he is going to try to restrain you harder, I guess. Give me another defensive roll. Okay. He throws you to the ground. He doesn't do any more damage here, but he does throw you to the ground, and he's basically got you pinned. And you can tell he's obviously not trying to kill you, but he is trying to prevent you from escaping. And he's like, just stop, man. You're not getting out. What do you do?
I'm gonna cough up a bunch of blood and be like, okay, all right, I think you got me. But
And he's still got his weight on you. You guys are really like face to face. You know, you're on your back. He's on top of you. He's basically got his arms crossed across your chest, and he's holding onto the front of your jacket, and he's, you know, got you pinned. And he says, he's like, all right, we got an understanding?
I just, you know, from the fight what sort of strength we can pull out. I just figured you wanted to keep it interesting. Tied me to the chair with some noodles like that.
Yeah, I get it. You want to leave. But I can't let you go right now. Now, I'm going to get up. Slowly. I'm going to let you stand up. You know, walk back to that chair. And we can talk. Good?
We're good.
You can feel he like takes his weight off of you, and he like starts to like stand up and back up, and then he's standing and you're still on the floor, but you're no longer pinned. What do you do?
Guess I'll kind of roll over and try to gingerly stand up with one hand and like kind of get into a crouch and then stand up since one hand is broken. I don't want to put more weight on it.
Yeah, you're able to do that. No problem.
And then sort of like hands out, walk over into the other room.
Okay. Yeah, just go back to that area where you were. I'll let you look at the picture in full now if you'd like, since you have time to look around. Everybody can look at this point. Obviously, Matt, you're the one that can ask questions about it, but just so the other players can see where you're being held. And give me an insight check, please.
An insight.
Yep.
Insight is this one.
Okay, so while you don't have time to read the whole thing, you can tell that piece of paper on the wall. You do notice the heading of it, and it says The Complete Works of William Blake. Looks like a poem.
I don't suppose there's any sort of stealth broadcast feature I can like sneakily broadcast to the Kia from my pocket.
It would probably be a sleight of hand type of thing,
I
which
don't
would be
have-
very difficult.
I don't have any of that sort of.
It would be I would say it'd probably be a stealth. But I would say it'd probably be a disadvantage because he's obviously watching you.
Yeah, I don't know if I necessarily want to do that at this point.
Now, meanwhile, the other three of you do get buzzes on your Kia, and you get that message that he was able to send when he was in the bathroom.
Oh shit.
I'm sorry, I don't recall exactly what it said, Matt. Like, I'm alive? Help?
Yeah, it was like I'm alive somewhere in the Hollywood neighborhood and like a 4-story something. A blimp?
Oh, is it 4-story or 5-story? Oh no.
I have
You'll
no
never find him.
Does the ground floor count as the first floor? This is a debate that has killed numerous parties.
Yep.
We're in LA or whatever. That's,
Yeah, you
there's no-
I guess, yeah, you mentioned the blimp, that's fine. So I don't think you guys need to make a check because you all have seen the blimp at this point. And while blimps are not like super rare, they're not super common either. So we'll just say, you know, the blimp obviously puts him back in the same neighborhood that he was abducted in. So you guys all get that message.
Oh boy.
The three of you can discuss that if you so choose.
Yeah, so Kias don't have like we wouldn't have any way of tracking that call, would we?
Man, I don't know.
Triangulate based off
Let
of
me-
cell towers.
Let me check while you guys discuss that.
So, I assume we were discussing whatever you guys would have found at the memory lab.
Yeah,
Unless-
I'd assume that as we were traveling in the spinner, Silas would give Violet as much detail as he could without, losing his last point of resolve.
Yeah, you can tell over the Kia that he is definitely shaken up, that Hallbeck is. And when he describes the memory, you can tell in his voice that it seemed real to him.
Right. So, why was she so weird about her daughter? If she was going to make a memory of her daughter dying, essentially.
Well, sorry, Chris, we would know at this point that there's rules against using actual memories.
Yeah, I think that's common knowledge, especially for Blade Runners. You guys probably know that. I'm pretty sure in universe lore it is illegal to use real memories at this point.
Right, okay.
But it's
Yeah.
not illegal to, like, use the base of a person, like using the image of your child as a base for the memory.
Well,
I mean, it gets into a gray area that, would probably have to be debated in court. And, like, how do you, in some cases, like, how would you prove that that's someone else's memory that they based your memory off of, sort of thing,
Right.
I mean, obviously, in this case, you could be like, well, here's her daughter, here's the memory. They look kind of the same, right? But, like, if her daughter wasn't around, for example, if the living daughter wasn't around, Sarah, then it'd probably be like, okay, well, I designed it, maybe it looks like a kid I recognize from 20 years ago, so.
So, was it previous knowledge that Lilith was at one point attacked by replicants, or was that her?
You guys have heard that story that she was attacked by replicants back in the day, and a Blade Runner managed to save her, but she got she did get like hurt or injured in that.
Right. Okay. So, what if that memory of Leah's is her memory of getting attacked?
Possibly, but the other wrinkle here is that the memory is of a trauma of a fake daughter dying, and here we have the memory maker using bits of her memory and using a daughter that is almost the same age as hers.
Right.
There's a weird poisoning of like reality here.
Do we know that's her, Lilith's biological daughter?
That's what you told us.
Yeah, but people can lie.
Right.
You didn't think she was lying, Hallbeck. You thought she was being truthful about that.
Yeah.
Because you made a test. So based on what I'm reading here in the text, guys, the Kia is like linked to any terminal or station that the detective has access to. So you might have one at home, like a personal terminal. You probably have one back at the tower. And, it can link and upload to the LAPD tower in multiple ways. The only thing it can't do really remotely is access the Esper wall. That has to be done at the tower. So I think, given a tech test, it's safe to say you could probably attempt to track it. I think that would be fair.
Okay.
So now you guys probably couldn't just do that remotely. You'd have to go back to the tower or put in a call to dispatch. So if you don't want to go back to the tower, I would say one of you can call dispatch, but you'll have to spend a promotion point to get them to do that like remotely for you.
Oh,
Garrett's
I'll
at the
do
tower,
that.
right? The LAPD.
Oh, yeah, you're still there. Yeah, you could do it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
it's all during the same shift, so we'll assume you're still there. You can try tech. I'll give you advantage because you're at the tower.
Here we go. Hope I don't lose any more resolve. All right. Well, we're not going to push it and hurt
Oh, look at
myself.
it. The D6 came through.
Yeah,
Nice.
it did. Sheesh.
Yes, it takes you a little bit longer, but it does start to triangulate, and eventually you get the location, and it is in that city block that you narrowed down with the Esper footage. It's like just a couple blocks from where he was abducted.
Mm-hmm. Right.
It's an old, abandoned apartment building.
Okay. Yeah. So I will. I'll let them know. Yeah.
I assume you guys are going. Well, what do you guys do? Are you informing your superiors? Are you informing Quell? And what are you doing about it?
Ooh. Well, at this point, none of us know that, anything that's going on with, except that Bantov got lifted. So we already made a big deal going through dispatch with the APB. I think Silas would absolutely start relaying the information to dispatch, but I think we would lead. We wouldn't have any police spinners get there before us.
Okay. Garrick, are you going too?
Man, I'm not good at fighting. I roll like a D6 for firearms and a D6 for combat, so I might actually die here.
Hey man, if you want to get a distinction, die in the line of duty protecting another officer.
That's a useless distinction for Garrick.
Well, you wouldn't have to deal with your DJ back at home anymore.
True. I could always just break it. I mean, I guess he would go, since it seems like we need all hands on deck, right, guys?
I'd say.
Yeah. Before he goes, he would let Quell know specifically about Leah's core memory being her child dying. And then I guess Lilith's child looking exactly like that.
Okay, so Hallbeck, you put out the call to dispatch. She immediately puts out the call, calling all officers. Update on APB of missing Blade Runner Hector Bantov. Detective has been located, suspected being held at, and then she rattles off the address. All units, please proceed with caution. And then she says, Detective Hallbeck is taking the lead on this. Do not proceed until he is on scene. And then all these APBs and signals start going off. Hector, even your Kia starts to beep, and you would recognize that it's like some sort of update from dispatch. Now, you can't read it right now, but you assume it probably has to do with you. But you would recognize, it's kind of like when an Amber Alert goes off, like or a weather alert. You recognize that it's something from dispatch, that like all units do this, do that. Garrick, as you make your way and get into a spinner and start to head off, there's actually a call that comes in from Quell.
Yep. I will answer it, yeah.
Yeah, she pops up on the little view screen, and she says, "You've been busy, Detective. I'm happy to see that you're taking our arrangement seriously."
Yeah. Want to show results? That's the same.
Well, I can't say that I'm surprised. I was aware of Leah's memories, and what Dr. Tyrell has been doing. And she does work for us, after all.
Right.
I suspect you have a reason why you brought this to my attention.
Well, Miss Tyrell was already previously attacked by someone, replicant before. And this is all dealing with the replicant freedom movement. What if they're going to attack her again? Do you guys have any kind of security you can send to her?
She says, yes, we do. You suspect the replicant underground is going to try to harm or abduct Dr. Tyrell?
Well, they already tried it once, right? A few years ago or a decade ago.
Years ago.
We're
I think
pretty
something
sure.
like that would have happened as she's come back into the limelight recently.
Right, well, really the only thing I can think of currently, but it already happened once, so her popping up as well as the replicant freedom movement, just my gut saying something's gonna happen.
And what are you and your team doing in the meantime?
We found out where our partner is, so we're going to go try to save him without dying.
Happy to hear it.
Thanks.
She gives a sigh as if she's contemplating your request. Give me a manipulation roll, please.
Okay. One success.
Okay. She says, I really don't think we need to waste Wallace resources on something like that. Unless you have a real evidence of a particular scheme or plan, I can't be sending security details out for everything that spooks us. Provide me with more evidence, and I will reconsider.
All right. If anything else pops up, I will let you know.
Happy to hear it, Detective. Stay safe.
Thanks.
She gives you that creepy smile. You can't tell if she's being facetious or sarcastic or genuine, and she blips off the screen. The three of you make your way towards this building and are the first ones to arrive on scene. Are you guys going in hot with sirens, or how's this going down?
I don't know. No siren for Garrick unless someone tells him to put it on.
Yeah, I think I would approach with a, less loud intention, and would have said that, I think, to dispatch as well. Like, we don't want to come in here super loud.
Okay.
I
All
agree.
right. So you guys eventually get there, the three of you, the first three on scene. Now this is as we're getting into the evening shift. So it is well and truly nighttime at this point. By the time this goes down, he gets the message out to you, and you guys are on your way back. Hector, you're inside. You sit down with Styles. He leans up against the piano. What do you do? What do you say?
I say, hey,
So, before I forget, new shift. Everybody gets a resolve and a health back.
Nice.
Let's actually use the rules. As much as I want to watch everybody get crippled at the very end of the game here.
After the first case.
Yeah. Everybody has to retire permanent mental trauma.
It was a tough one.
All right. So, do you say anything to him, Hector?
Yeah, I do talk with him a bit. I've got to try to smooth things over a little bit after kind of blowing up our deal, and say, hey Styles, sorry for giving you the business. I know things are kind of tough. Do you mind if I show you something? And then sort of like slowly and try to clumsily pull the photograph out of my pocket.
Okay. Yeah, you can see he's like a little tense, but
This
he
is not a gun.
listens.
Yeah. So
Which photo are you showing him?
this is my key item photo.
Okay.
This is the photo of me and my mentor, who I worked with for all of my life, basically. And I think this photo here is special to me because it's, I think, the only time he ever really acknowledged my work. He's giving me a medal of commendation here, and it's, you work so hard and hardly ever get recognition. I think what he taught us was to climb to the stars and essentially break walls whenever possible. But even doing so, you know, you don't get those victories acknowledged. Oh, except once in a blue moon, perhaps. And he's gone missing as well. So, since I've been moved around at the LAPD, you know, just want to do my best in town to make sure people that go missing aren't just lost.
Give me a manipulation test with advantage. Okay, what'd you get, Hector?
I've got 3 successes here.
Wow.
Real
You see-
solid.
He reaches out to take the photo when you hand it to him. Do you let him take it?
Yeah, sure.
He takes it gently, he doesn't rip it out of your hand or anything, and he leans back as you're telling the story, and he's looking at it. He's got it in both hands. And you can tell there's a genuine feeling of sadness that comes over him. And he kind of nods, and he then extends his hand out and gives it back to you. And he says, "Look, Leah's safe, okay? We set her up so that she can get out of here. She can get off world and get away from all this. She'll be gone by this morning. Or coming morning is what he's referring to."
All right. Well, at least it's not a horrible double homicide. But
No, she was always talking about the memories of her daughter, you know, which you and I both know aren't real, but it fucked her up, man. You know, she's always has this obsession with Tyrell. You know, probably blames her, I guess, but she's yeah, couple hours, she'll be safe. So you don't have to worry about saving her, man. She's you chill here for a few more hours and you've saved her. Meanwhile, outside, how are you guys approaching? Are you landing your spinners and going in on foot?
I think so. I can't really see an entrance.
I don't know why when you guys get to the front here, it's like black.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
front and the black arcs are kind of interesting. They,
Yeah,
you know,
so-
they're like,
Do you guys see my cursor when I put this on the map?
Yeah.
That's where the front door is. I don't know why it's all glitched out,
okay.
but that's...
Without a better entrance to look for, you know, I would maybe cruise past the windows, see if we can see anything. If we can't spot what apartment he's in, I would go through the front.
Yeah, so the windows, again, it's, you know, you guys don't know, but he's up on a higher floor. So, but basically the apartments are identical. So, if you spin past on your spinners, you know, you don't see anything through the windows. But that's the front door to the building, and we'll just assume that that's, you know, the front door that you find. There is a fire escape that does go up the side, but you guys aren't sure what apartment he's in, so probably have to be the doors.
Yeah, I'd say we'd probably try and get in through the front then.
Okay. I assume I'm going to need stealth tests from everybody.
Yeah, 1 success.
All right. Everybody, please. Okay.
Ooh,
That
triple
means 3
successes.
successes?
All right.
What?
So you guys begin to approach, and eventually you get to these doors. It's big. It's a double set of doors. How are you guys proceeding?
I mean, I have the best stealth. I think I have an A. So I'm gonna, just procedurally go up the stairs, keep a low profile, stealth our way up.
Okay, the three of you are at the door to. We'll assume you guys have figured out which apartment he's being held in.
Okay.
So, how do you enter?
Is there a lock on it? We can't just
Yeah, is it like a tech thing?
doorman
you can-
or
It is locked, but it is just a regular door. It's a very old building.
Oh, gotcha.
This looks like probably from 20th or 21st century. At least decades old, if not older.
All right.
I don't think I have any specific skills aside from trying to kick it in. So, or if it's the strongest, just try kicking it in.
Yeah, I suppose that would be the way to go. Yeah, I'm getting up there in years, so
Who's kicking the door?
don't
I have
know
a
if
C
we
in
can-
strength, so I can't do it.
I have a D.
We all got D's. All right, I'll give it a good. I guess none of us have any other equipment. Is there a lock to shoot off or anything, or how's the door?
You could shoot the lock if you want, or just kick it down.
I'll try kicking it first.
Okay. Give me a
we all
force
have-
roll.
We all have the same here. We got
All
one
right.
success.
All right, so Violet, let me put you in front of the door here. You kick it open. Okay, so Violet, you kick open the door. You find that you are in a, like a lobby, of some sort, and there are 3 doors in here, left, right, and center. The one to your right is open, looks like it goes into an old decrepit bedroom. You can see there's another door beyond that goes into another bedroom, and beyond that you can see the windows outside as the light from the signs come through. And then there's 2 other doors. As this is happening, Styles and Hector, you hear the door, obviously the front door, get kicked in, and Styles like jumps and spins around, and he looks at you, and there's like a look of anger, disappointment, betrayal, and concern. And he says, he like puts his hands up to kind of be like, I surrender. And he says, just give her till morning and she's safe. And he starts running towards this window over here. Do you do anything as he runs past you?
No.
Okay. All right. The 3 of you are in. What do you do when you enter this hallway?
I. Go ahead.
Oh no, go for it.
Violet, you were first in, so you can act first. And then we'll do Silas and then Garrick.
I kind of sidle up to this door here. I listen in if I can hear anything,
Okay.
and then I check. Without staying in front of the door frame, I check the handle to see if it's open or not.
It is open. That's why you can see through.
Got it. I'll kind of look to them I'm providing cover, and you guys kind of head in past me. Kind of
All
make
right,
our way
Silas,
through there.
You see Violet gets up against the door frame. She's looking in, covering. You can see that the door is open, leading into the bedroom. There's another door beyond that. And yeah, what do you do?
Silas will have his piece drawn and go in and slowly peek his head in and scan both ways.
Okay, move up one more. Okay. So you can see there's a door to your left that's also open. It looks like it goes into a much larger room. The door across from you goes into a bedroom, and you can see the windows beyond that. These are the windows right here.
Okay, so I don't see anything in here besides
No,
open
just
doors.
decrepit furniture and things like that. Garrick, what about you?
So Violet was signaling for us all to go through that door.
Yes.
Then I guess I would go through that door.
Yeah,
I go through a different door.
yeah,
Fuck
and
you, you're
Silas
not my boss.
would have been like clear 2 entryways.
All right. Hector, you hear them shout clear, and the three of you that are not Hector, give me an observation roll, please.
3 successes.
Wow. You're fucking good at this game.
So good.
Ooh, success and a.
Best
Great.
detective.
I'll accept.
Detective, great detective.
Violet, you rolling? Oh, there we. No, I didn't see one. Are you doing observation, or do you not care?
Oh, 0.
All right. You gonna push?
Nah.
All right. For those of you that passed, you can hear voices coming from the room to the south, and you Silas, you recognize one of them as Hector, and you can hear some movement from inside that room. Hector, as this is happening, Styles runs across the room, and he opens the window, and he steps out onto a fire escape, and he turns back to you, and he gives you almost like a sly smile, like a thank you, and he gives you a wordless nod, and he heads down the fire escape, and you see he like does the fireman's thing down the ladder, and
The ladder on that side the whole time.
Silas, as you guys turn the corner, you're free to go into that southern room. You see Hector standing there in this room, and I think I shared the picture with you guys. And he looks hurt but alive.
Oh, there you are. What
Hey.
happened?
Is anyone else here here with you?
Yeah, Silas will be checking the room as well.
I don't think so. The Aurelian was here earlier, but I think he's been gone for a while.
So you. Okay. I can't move. Hold on.
I think. I don't know. I didn't see anyone, actually. He's just sort of, there was another voice. Might have been him. So I don't really have any evidence one way or the other. There's one thing I'm a little worried about, I guess, which is, well, have you've tracked down Leah at all?
No.
Been unable to find her.
Why?
Well, it seems that the folks that were here didn't know where she was either. They had been working together, but
With the replicant resistance?
seems so.
Is that who captured you?
It was definitely Silas.
Yeah.
See him on the outskirts.
He and some thugs.
Just as a reminder, that is what you guys walk into, this room. That's what you guys see.
They just jumped out of nowhere and ganged up on me. But you should see one of the other guys. I think he looked pretty rough.
At this point, more. Did you guys tell them that you found him at this point? The rest of the force?
Oh, yeah, I think Silas would have called in the dispatch after
Okay.
clearing this room with Hector.
At this point, then, the police presence becomes known as they, kind of lock down the city block, so to speak. You can see sirens or you can see the flashing lights, and more officers begin to come in and start to secure the scene and check and make sure there's no other assailants here. But you guys are free to continue.
I mean, I guess I'll look around the place for any kind of evidence, anything that may have been left behind or anything that could help us in our search.
Well, you've got the photo right there that you guys can look at.
Okay. So I look through
I'll show you the poem because you guys kind of know that that's there.
Yeah, I was
So
gonna
this is
say,
the poem that was hanging on the wall.
Uh,
Oh, wait.
Isn't that-
Oh, sorry, wrong one.
okay, yeah, that's the.
If anybody wants to read that, they may do so.
we haven't read it out loud before. I'll
No,
read
it's
it.
a different one.
It says, "My hands are labored day and night, and ease comes never in my sight. My wife has no indulgence given, except what comes to her from heaven. We eat little, we drink less. This earth breeds not our happiness. Another sun feeds our life streams. We are not warmed with thy beams. Thou measurest not the time to me, nor yet the space that I do see. My mind is not with thy light arrayed. Thy terrors shall not make me afraid." It says the complete works of William Blake.
Oh, it's a ripped out page.
Yeah, so this is
Get it.
probably the page from her book.
Yes.
Yeah. But why?
So a page from Leah's book is here. So
So she was here.
Silas would start rummaging even more.
Hector, since you did see this earlier, here's the postcard that you find. It is an old postcard of the Hollywood sign back when it still was the Hollywood sign, and the hill that it was on was not a barren wasteland. And back when Hollywood was still the movie capital of the world. Spoiler, it's not anymore in 2037.
Toledo, Ohio.
Yeah, they said that they had met with her, but I never heard her come around here, at least while I was conscious.
I'll just show you guys the other two things that are here because you guys have time to look. You find that there is a... Oh, that's the wrong one.
Coffee table there.
Yeah, so you find there is a copy of Synth Magazine, which I'll show you guys now if you want to describe that to our listeners.
Oh my god.
Whoa.
That is a definitely an image. Synth magazine, $16 or 16 chin yen. The magazine of the replicant industry. Smithsonian restores an automaton XM1. Nuclear hardening for radioactive waste disposal personnel. Synth, in all caps, takes a look at the new Joy. Trauma gives control. That phrase came up again, okay. Lilith Tyrell explains the finer points of replicant memory design. Tales from the Mind, the story continues. And at the bottom, big bold letters, Wallace's Nexus 9, worth the price, ?
And finally, there is a little handout that appears to be it's like a leaflet, like you'd get like a brochure. It's like a trifold, and like the shape of a trifold, except it's just the one page. And somebody wants to read off that.
Off-world. A new life awaits you in the off-world colonies. The chance to begin again. A golden land of opportunity and adventure. By the Shimago Dominguez Corp.
And when you open that, detective, you see that this is one of the many, many leaflets you've seen advertising the supposed golden future that awaits people off-world. This one in particular is for the colony of Arcadia, one of the 9 off-world colonies. You having spoke with Styles, would probably assume that this is the colony they have set up for Leah to try to get to.
Chris, can Silas go through the synth magazine to the trauma article and see if Lilith may have explained the key memory?
He doesn't explain Leah's memory in specific. She gives you, it's basically a summary of what she explained, how using trauma is basically a way for them to try to control the replicants. Let me see what it says here. Okay, it says replicants are machines, no different than something you may find in your home. Infinitely more advanced, of course, but machines nonetheless. The purpose of the memories I design is to control these machines in the most effective way possible by imprinting them with a deep trauma. The memory of this trauma is conditioned to be triggered at any time the replicant even considers the possibility of disobeying. This is a unique method for how I make the Nexus 9 replicants fully obedient. It's simple, really. Morality has no role here. And then there's like an example where she's saying to the interviewer, like, you wouldn't want, your computer to disobey, or your car, or, some appliance you might have in your home, something like that. Or like you would, if you had a firearm, you wouldn't want that to disobey you, would you?
Okay.
Otherwise, it's more or less what she told you back at the lab.
Okay. Yeah, I think Silas would hold up the magazine and just be like, so we know Leah was here. Well, we know Leah's ripped poem page was here. And this magazine was here, which means that they know that replicant memory design is based on trauma. And I don't think that they would be happy about that.
Yeah.
You can also tell on the table there's some leftovers of food and drink, as if somebody was probably staying here. There's also a blanket on the couch. Someone was probably sleeping.
Well, they were saying the plan was to lie low here until whatever rendezvous, but that Leah had some unfinished business. Do any of you know what that could mean?
Only thing I could think of would be to confront the person who gave me trauma.
Yeah.
How do you mean?
Well, if they learned that Lilith Terrell was responsible for replicant memory design,
Which they know since this is here.
it's safe to say that
Leo
they could
confront the source
Yeah.
of her trauma.
Yeah, they could blame her for that.
Out of character, I was like, "Oh, you mean the person that gave you Silas trauma?"
Right. Silas is gonna go, get his revenge now for that horrible
Yeah.
experience.
That's how we found out Silas was a hidden replicant all along, and he
Oh,
joined the
God.
replicant underground.
Nice.
Now you guys go ahead and go back there. I'll be over here. Yeah, that's the only thing that
Yeah.
is sticking out. That through line has been throughout this whole thing is the memory, the picture.
Did we surmise that the photo of the younger version of them, that she thinks that's her?
Her daughter, Dinah.
Or was that her? She thinks that's her daughter.
The
Because-
photo that you found in Leah's apartment is the child in her memory, which is her daughter Dinah in her
Okay.
memory. I'm sorry, Dina.
Okay.
So Garrick's gonna take pictures of the Off-World pamphlet and the Synth magazine and upload them to our mainframe
HQ?
database. Yeah.
Okay.
And then he will also send the synth magazine picture to Quell with a note just found at safe house of underground.
She replies with a question mark. We'll assume it's like some sort of text message.
Yeah. I guess put in the text message, Leah not here, but Hector said she might have unfinished business. And he's going to try to emphasize trauma gives control thing and Lilith Tyrell's name again.
Okay.
Otherwise, we'll just do it ourselves.
What do the rest of you do?
I think Silas would give a hollow to the chief and give him a brief rundown of us finding Hector, and then he would mention the synth magazine and say, "Look, Chief, we gotta get people over to the memory lab."
Good job finding Hector. Why don't you guys get your asses over there now?
We're on our way.
All right, keep me informed.
Yeah, Silas would holster his piece and go. Some of us have to go to the memory lab. So I'm gonna head there now.
Okay.
What's everybody else doing?
Yeah,
I'm
I'll
gonna
go-
come with Silas.
Do we have any other follow-ups we want to make, or should we just kind of all cut out there?
Well, so we know that Styles likes to stick around the snake bar. He's probably not going to come back around here, or the snake pit.
He might be
Yep.
going to the Aurelians, right? Since we know the Aurelian was here.
Yeah, I would say double back. Someone should double back to the Aurelian.
Eric, you get a message back from Quell that says, suggest you check in on the doctor. Make sure she's okay.
All right. Yeah, he'll respond affirmative.
Okay, so Silas and Violet are going to the memory lab. Then we need someone to go to the Aurelian. Do you guys want to go? Hector, are you capable?
Well, maybe if I get some backup this time. And I want it stated on the record, my initial suggestion was to go in a team.
Yes.
Noted.
Thank you. Fine.
All right, Garrick and Hector to the Aurelian, and then Violet and I to the memory lab.
Okay. The group splits once again. Two of you hopping in your spinners to make your way back to the memory lab. And Garrick, you and Hector heading outside and then a couple blocks towards the Aurelians, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. When you guys get there, the shop is closed. No lights are on. Looks empty. I will point out it is the evening shift right now. The night shift, which is the same time that Violet came by the first time. So this is normally when the shop would be closed, and much of Animite Row is starting to close down as well.
Mhm.
However, Hector, obviously, you know that he was there. You would suspect that if, he probably knows what's happening at this point, so he's probably laying low. But obviously Garrick doesn't know that. So
Yeah.
we'll do that first, because you guys are closer, so you're just a couple blocks away. So when you guys get there, that's what you see.
Well, He's closed house. I don't imagine he's just sleeping behind the desk. It's not a very big shop.
Right.
I'm gonna peek you through the window just in case. He's
No,
not
you don't see.
sleeping behind
You
the
don't.
desk.
You don't see him. No,
Okay.
it's empty.
Unless we want to keep watch here.
Can we sort of talk to some of the locals, buying food if we need to, just to see if any of them have seen him?
Sure. You probably wouldn't even have to buy any food. You could just ask some of the people nearby, and everybody says they haven't seen him for quite some time today.
Well, he's not here. He might be at whatever their next rendezvous would have been, but we don't know where that would be.
My gut says we should just bail and see if we can catch up to Violet and Silas at the lab.
Chris, do we know if there's anything, like you said, the Hollywood sign was essentially a blasted wasteland right now, right?
Yeah, I mean, parts of the sign are still there. It's out in an area called the Kipple, which is like kind of like wasteland. The trash heaps in 2049. So like people scrounge a living out there somehow, but I mean, the Hollywood sign itself is nothing like it used to be. Several
Right.
of the letters have fallen down, but I mean, it's still a recognizable landmark.
Well, we could check out the Hollywood sign. No idea what we'd find, but otherwise, yeah, we should just go to the memory lab and help out.
All right, is that what you two are gonna do?
I think I'd like to do that if we can turn
All
up
right.
the late reinforcements.
Okay. Silas and Violet, you guys make your way back to the memory lab. And you land the spinner. Once again, it's quiet. It's dark. What do you guys do?
Yeah, I go back in, see if we can get in, see if we see our dude there,
Yeah, Terry.
Jerry.
Okay. You see that the door is open.
Oh.
Oh, shit.
You do
Well,
not
either-
see Terry. He's not standing behind the desk.
We
Unholster.
start, unholster, start moving in silently as we can.
Okay. Give me stealth rolls, please.
2 for Holbach.
Jesus, guys.
2 for me as well.
All right. You guys start creeping in, and you can move into the lobby. When you do, you get close enough to see that Terry is behind the counter on the floor, clutching a wound in his leg. There's a good amount of blood, and he's kind of moaning in pain.
Silas would run over, kneel down, and kind of gently put his hand over Terry's mouth, and then have him look up and try and do a shush motion, and then just really quietly say, "Who and how many?"
His eyes go wide, but then he recognizes you, and he kind of puts his hand on your wrist, almost like reassuring, thank goodness you're here. And he says, it's someone that looked like Dr. Tyrell. She came in and shot me just a few minutes ago.
All right, hold on to the pressure on that wound. We'll get authorities out here. And then would look up to Violet and just kind of quietly whisper, "It's Leah."
Violet nods.
Okay.
And then Silas would reassure Terry, have him sit there. Terry doesn't have any weapons on him, by the way. Right?
No, no.
Okay. Yeah, don't want to get swindled. So he kind of gives him a pat and then gets back up, and we'll start searching again.
Okay. Which way are you guys going?
I think. Did you want us to go back to that map, Chris?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm on the map by myself. I'm like, why aren't you guys moving your tokens around? Fucking playing the game by myself over here.
Yeah,
I mean, we'll go towards. I think we'll go towards the audience chamber where we saw, but we'll kind of sneak our way through here and look for signs of entry, but we'll make our way towards where we last saw her. I think is the best guess.
Yeah.
Okay. Please give me another stealth test.
Okay.
Because you're kind of moving again, and you just were speaking with him, so.
I got 1 success.
I also got 1. I'm gonna keep it.
All right. You guys begin to creep down the hall, and as you do, there does not appear to be any sign of disturbance. You don't see any doors that are open. You don't see like a trail of blood or anything like that. As you guys cross past that hallway and make it into this main hall, you do see that this door here is open, and you hear a voice that you do not recognize. You hear a female voice, and she says, You did this to me. You gave me that fucking memory. All I see is her getting shot over and over. You did this to me. And then you hear Dr. Tyrell go, Leah, just please put the gun down. And what do you guys do?
Silas is gonna saddle up to the side of the door, just like that, yeah, and kind of motion to Violet, because I think you're a little faster than me.
Yeah.
So he'd motion for her to go in on his mark, and then he would follow right behind her.
All right. I kind of nod in agreement.
As you guys are creeping up to the door, you're just a few feet from the doorway. Lilith Tyrell says, Leah, we can fix you. There's things we can do. We can give you new memories. Just stop lying. You and Wallace Corporation and everybody, it's your fault. It's your fault. And you hear a gunshot go off.
Okay,
Oh,
we gotta go in.
Yeah,
You turn the corner. As you do, you see Leah turns towards you guys, blaster in hand. As you turn the corner, you can see that Lilith is on the ground. There is a bullet wound directly to her head. Blood quickly pooling around the back of her head as she hits the ground. And Leah turns, pointing the gun at you guys.
Leah, put down the weapon.
Leah,
She's-
take it easy.
She looks really stressed. She's got heavy bags under her eyes. Looks like she hasn't slept in a while. She's clearly been crying. She's emotional. Her hair's a mess. Her clothes are dirty. But it's definitely your missing Blade Runner. She says she got what she deserved. You don't know what she did to me. She's like, just get out of my way. I don't want to have to kill you too.
Silas would put his hands up and then have Leah watch him holster his weapon and then put his hand back out as like both up and say, Leah, I know what you've been through. She put me in a memory machine. She showed me what she put in you. And it nearly broke me. I know where you're coming from, but
Then you know why I had to do it. I can't let her do it to anyone else. I just need to get out of here. Just move
Leah.
away from the door.
Leah, you have bodies in your wake. We can't just let you leave. You know that that's wrong too.
She points the gun away from you and like fires a warning shot like near your feet. I'm not gonna ask again. Just get out of the way. Meanwhile, our other two detectives are on the way. Do you update Quell about this, Garrick, that you're going over there?
Yeah, I'm let her know that I'm on my way.
Okay. All right. You guys get there, and you can see there another spinner is already there. You see that the front door is open.
So yeah, gun drawn, I guess, and start moving towards the door.
Okay. You get into the lobby. You can see this man, Terry, the clerk, down on the ground with a wound to his leg.
Yeah, go up to him very quietly and try to figure out if he's alive.
Yeah, you can see he's holding the wound, and when he sees you, he obviously recognizes, and he says, "There's two more of your detectives are here. They're in back, trying to find Dr. Terrell."
Can we call for like an ambulance for him?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Like I'll call in for an ambulance.
All right, Hector, what are you doing while he does that?
I guess, can I help try to quickly bandage him?
Yeah, give me a medical aid, please.
I have great medical aid, but maybe it's okay enough. Nope. That's just gonna be a break.
Okay. All right.
Successes.
At this point, Silas, and Violet, what do you two do after she fires the warning shot?
Oh, I take a shot right after she fires at him.
Oh,
Stone cold.
Damn!
So as he's doing, as Violet does that, Silas is in slow motion going,
No. Oh, incredible. Okay, I want to.
Well, and then unfortunately, while she's doing that, he's slow motion, probably grabbing for his too, because this is about to go really south.
Okay, Violet, give me an attack roll with your blaster, please. Do you have it on stun or kill?
No, it's kill.
Oh shit!
Damn.
Is that just firearms?
I think you actually roll the weapon.
Yeah, you go to combat.
like an alien.
Okay. All right.
Click on the weapon and it'll do an attack
All
roll.
right. I see sonic round, caseless. What's 44 caseless mean?
That's
Is that
the
regular damage?
lethal. Yeah, that's the lethal.
Can you target it?
Any positive
Oh, you can
modifiers
target
for
it.
this?
I don't think targeting's gonna matter because there's no defense. It's just if you roll a hit
okay.
or not. I'm sorry. What'd you ask, Tyler?
Any positives for this? No, these are all negative things. All right.
No, there's no.
All right.
Ooh, that is a miss. Would you like to push?
Yeah.
Okay.
All
All right.
Success.
Our two detectives in the hallway hear a gunshot go off. Leah is hit. She's going to take 2 points of damage. She does not have any armor that you can see. Yeah. And then she's going to fire back. I guess we should go into initiative at this point because she just fired. So let's everybody roll initiative, please. All right, Garrick, you're up first at initiative 8.
Have I called in the ambulance?
Yes.
All right, then I'm sprinting in towards where the gunfire is.
Okay, so you can move. You get one move and one action on your turn, and for a move, you can move one space, one zone, or you can spend your action to do sprint, which is mobility. And I believe when you do that, that allows you to move up to the number of successes you get.
Okay.
I believe. Let me double check that. Okay, so you give up, if you want, you give up your action to do sprint. The sprint takes up your action and your movement. You make a mobility, and for each success, you can move an additional zone. And if you fail the roll, you basically trip and fall over something. The red lines indicate zones, so this is an open hallway to the next zone here.
Okay. Yeah, I guess I'll take, because I don't know how far away they are, so I'll take a mobility test.
Yeah, you can tell it's coming from the left around the corner. So it's south on the map.
Okay.
Okay, so you can move 2 zones, unless you want to push.
No, I'll stay there. One,
Okay, there's one zone, and then this is the second zone here.
2.
So you start making your way down a hall. You can see there is a open door here, and there's light shining through, and you can hear some commotion from there.
Gotcha.
Next up is Leah. She takes a shot at you, Violet, while she retreats back towards this opening here. And she also is doing lethal damage. She scores a hit. She's gonna push that. Ooh, she gets 2.
Oof.
Which means that is a critical hit. You're going to take a total of 3 damage because she's got the crit. And this has a crit of D12. Oh, shit. Here we go. So you take 3 damage, and then the critical. Oh, that could have been bad. 2 is... Get my chart here. Impaled hand. Disadvantage to firearms and hand-to-hand combat. It is not lethal, but this will take a week before you are healed. So she shoots, and she shoots you right through the hand. I'll put that on your character sheet now. Oops. As the gun goes off. This is not working. There we go. All right. You should see it under your combat tab. It should do it automatically for all the negatives.
Yeah.
And then she retreats basically back into here, trying to take cover behind the door. You guys hear another gunshot. You probably hear Violet shout out. Violet, you're up.
All right, I'm gonna follow into the room. I say, shit, my hand.
Okay. Yeah, when you walk in, it's still that like complete dark blackness, but you can clearly see her if you walk in there.
What can I fire from here? Is she in cover of some kind?
Yeah, she's in cover right now.
All right. Well, I'm not gonna go chill. I'm
You
gonna
can take a shot here. Just roll for cover.
Okay. Yeah, I'll take a shot from here. So probably not so good. All right. So I add target behind cover. Hand impaled's added. Here we go.
Yep.
All right. There we go. All right. One. Sorry. Go ahead, and I'll push that again. So 1 success. All right. 2.
Well, that's only 1, because
All right.
you're re-rolling the dice that you just rolled.
Got it. All right.
Wait. What's going on? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's right. Okay, so you do hit her, and what's the base damage? It's 2, right?
2.
On the blaster? Okay. 2 damage. She grunts in pain. You hear another shot, Garrick and Hector. And we are on to Silas.
Okay. Silas would, unfortunately, with his re-unholstered gun, can he move forward and shoot, or does he have to shoot first?
Either or.
Okay, so he'd move a bit forward like this, and I can see her from there, but she's in cover.
Yes. Unless you move into the room with her, she's going to have cover.
Yeah, not ready to do just that. And I'm a human, so. Yeah. So from there, I'm gonna fire at her.
All right, go for it. Remember to roll your weapon, not just firearms.
Right, and that's 44 caseless. That's the
lethal.
That's the lethal dose.
Well, the long range one is also lethal, the rifle, but that's for long range.
Right. Okay, and then just target behind cover.
Yes.
Oh wow. Yeah, you can't roll unless it's a disadvantage.
Okay, you do score a hit though, and
I'm gonna accept it.
you hit her. You see it like hits her in the like the side. She's taking a couple shots now. She's slowing down, grunting, and you can see some tears running down her face. More shots ring out.
Yeah, and as he's shooting, he would say, like, Leah, don't make us do this.
Hector, your turn.
All right. I think I need to catch up to folks. So I'm gonna kind of sprint out.
All right, give me mobility, please.
Oh, I'm terrible at this. Well, maybe not that terrible. Well, no.
Yep, pretty terrible.
Okay, I'm gonna push that. Push that 0 into a 1.
Okay, so you can move 2 zones.
All right. So behind this desk, this is in the same zone as. Oh,
Correct.
wait. That says at the wall.
Yeah, I can move you past it. That's fine.
Okay, cool. So then.
So, one over here, you'd be in the same zone with Garrick, the hallway.
Hanging
Catch
out
up
with
to
you.
him.
All right, sounds good.
All right. Top of the next turn. Well, a couple things happen here. Violet, from where you're standing, and gentlemen in the hall, you can see the door just across from the hall from you, Violet, open up, and you see Sarah comes running out. And she comes running, and as she's running down the hall, she stops. She sees all of you with weapons drawn, and she sees the body of her mother on the ground.
Shit.
She screams out in terror. I'm going to add her to the initiative track here. As that happens, Garrick, you hear the thing of an incoming message on your Kia.
Fuck.
It is your turn.
What does the message say?
Do you stop to take a look while you're running down the hall? I imagine you're running down the hall and like you get a text, basically, is what's happening.
Gotcha. I'm gonna run down the hall. I'm gonna grab the kid and just jump back into her room.
Okay. I dig it. All right. I won't make you roll because she's standing there in shock.
Yeah.
So as you run past, you can see Violet and Silas having a shootout with Leah in the other room, and then you basically grab her and snatch her into this room here.
Yeah, and then I check the text.
Okay. The text is from Quell, and it says, "Time to make a choice, detective."
Oh shit.
On Leah's turn, she opens fire, and Silas, give me a manipulation test, please, after your plea for her to stop.
Sweet, my best one, boys. Here we go. I'm gonna have to push that.
Okay.
Oh. Fuck.
Oh, another point of stress.
Oh man.
Does that break you?
Nope.
Oh, you're down to 1? Okay.
Down to 1.
Good thing we looked up those healing rules. Otherwise,
For real. Yeah.
Don't do it.
Leah'd have like 3
Yeah.
Blade Runner lives on her hands.
I mean, good time to fucking break though in the shootout with another fellow Blade Runner.
Yeah, very emotional.
She aims the gun at you, Silas, and as you are like, "Don't make us do this," she doesn't put the gun down, but she does turn and point it at Violet and shoots at her again. You can tell she lingers on you for a moment, and there's a flash of recognition across her eyes, and regret you see when she obviously chooses not to harm you, and she aims for Violet. Another critical.
Jesus.
You take 3 more damage, Violet.
hmm
And I'll actually roll the right critical this time, not just a d12. That is piercing damage. Okay, 4. Shoulder hit. Disadvantage to mobility and firearms.
Damn.
All right, well, you're not dead. And is this fatal? No, it's not fatal. It's another week-long injury, though. So, first your hand, then your shoulder. And I imagine you're probably pretty fucked up after all that. But it is your turn. She's not gonna push that.
Yeah, I'm gonna limp to some cover over here.
Okay.
Try and get down, behind
Sure,
this desk
sure.
over here, and
Return fire?
yeah, if that's possible from this line of sight.
Absolutely.
Right. All right.
A
2 successes.
critical.
Crit.
Roll me the critical table piercing. 6. Cracked skull.
Oh.
Disadvantage to observation and tech. It is a lethal injury. And she will die within 1 shift. She does not get medical attention. You do 3 points of damage. You line up your shot, you pull the trigger, and it looks like you hit her in the head. She collapses to the ground as a spray of blood kind of arcs as she spins and hits the floor. Silas.
Okay, so she's now down.
Yes.
Okay, Silas would move in, and if he could, if her weapon's still near her, kick it away.
Okay. You do
Um,
that.
And then he would holster his and reach for the wound and try to put pressure on it.
Okay. You get to her, and there is what you can see is this horrible wound to her head, and it looks like maybe part of her skull got blasted. She appears to still be conscious, but she's bleeding out heavily, and she just kind of like murmurs and moans as you roll her towards you. I just wanted to get off world.
Could have ended so different.
Hector, what do you do?
I know Violet just dunked into the room on this end, so I think I'm gonna spend a move to come in here and figure out how many zones across there are.
That would just be, it's just 1 zone in this room and 1 zone in the next room.
Okay.
So
can't
you
figure
can
it
make it because combat's over at this point. So
Okay.
you see Violet is injured, taking cover behind the desk. Lilith is dead on the floor, and Leah is
Richard
bleeding out in Silas's arms. Silas's arms.
I guess don't have great medical aid, but I guess I'll see if I can. Wait, is Violet has a number of just normal injuries, right?
She does.
She's still up though.
Yes.
Okay. I guess I'll go check out these guys first.
It looks like Leah has been shot in the head.
Fuck, what a mess. I guess yeah, if I can stymie bleeding, help people out that way. Help Leah out, as it were.
Give me a medical aid roll, please.
Alright.
Ooh.
Hey,
Wow.
that's something.
Okay. You have a critical. That was the only way I was going to let you pull this off. You start to try to bandage the wound and stop the bleeding. You think that if you guys get medical attention here fast, you guys might be able to save her. But she is fucked up. As you do that, there is a rumble and an explosion from back near the entrance of the lab. You hear 2 other explosions and the shattering of glass from other parts of the lab. And I'll be right back.
Oh my god, a master of
fuck, dude.
suspense. Well, if he's getting up, I'm also getting up. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Holy fuck, dude.
I was gonna say I called it. Fucking. It was not, the what are the Replicant Underground that did it. It was just an insane Leah. But
Yeah.
Damn. At this point, explosions have gone off, rocking the memory lab. What do you guys do?
Oh, fucking evacuate, I think.
Did I get another message from Tyrell or not? From Quell?
Nope, that was it.
Okay, very unclear. I'm gonna grab Sarah and try to tell the party we need to leave. Leave that cop killer.
Okay, you move into the hall. You can move sick. I'll move it for you. You can see smoke coming from the entrance.
Can we try to get Lilith's body?
If you want, yeah, you can carry her.
I mean, I don't know what I'm capable of, but if I'll shout to the others, shouldn't leave her here.
Yeah, I think Silas would. We can't move Leah even, can we? She's just.
I mean, you don't think it's a great idea, but it's up to you guys.
I don't think moving 2 bodies while a building is exploding is a really good idea. They're both dead. We can just keep the people who are alive.
There's no time to discuss.
Yeah.
So,
Garrett,
Garrett, you took your turn. All right. Leah's bleeding out. You hear explosions going off, and it is now Violet. You're grabbing Lilith.
Yeah.
Right. You can move your 1 space then into the hallway with Garrick and Sarah, who screams when she sees her dead mother being carried. Silas.
Yeah, I'll move back into here. I guess that's my 1, right?
Yep. Unless you do mobility and do your whole action as a run.
Oh, yeah. Then
All right. Mobility, you can move extra zones for every success.
Can I do that while carrying Sarah?
Yeah, she's small enough. You all can if you want.
Is that enough, Chris, or do I have to push?
Every extra success lets you move 1 extra zone.
No, I'm down to 1. I have to just accept it. So I can move 1 more.
Yes.
Okay. I'm in the hallway now, too.
You got it. So Garrett, you can move to either this zone or the hallway.
I don't know if there's an exit at that zone, but so I'll
Okay.
just go here first.
Give me an observation test.
2 successes.
All right. As you run past this corner, you see a figure coming out from one of these doors. It's hard to tell if it's a man or a woman, but it is a humanoid that is in all black, tactical gear. Kevlar vest, pouches of ammunition, some
Jesus.
sort of, I believe they have assault rifles, and the full Spec Ops mask. As you run by, you make eye contact. You got a critical here. You make eye contact with this guy or woman, and there's a second of oh shit. And they've got their gun raised at you, but they do not fire and they let you run past.
Okay.
So you are able to get to this zone if you wish.
Yeah.
All right, so you can go to this zone too. As you do, you can go all the way to the end here if you'd like, so you can see into the next room. It's up to you.
Yeah.
You see 2 more of these guys coming through the front door. The lobby is a smoking, burning wreckage as if a bomb went off in here. And these two come in SWAT team style. They see you, again, holding the girl. You can't tell, like, if they recognize you or not, but they stop for a second, and they continue moving in your direction, but they do not open fire.
Okay.
Hector, it's your turn.
Interesting.
All right. I guess I was gonna attempt to pick up Leah and
Take her with.
sprint towards keep up with the gang.
Okay, give me mobility, please.
Go.
All right, so you can get out into the hallway with them as well.
Cool. Think so.
Are you taking Leo with, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Top of the round. The unseen individuals are going to
I
do
mean,
their
we all
thing.
guessed it, but they have a very conspicuous name on the.
Yeah, it should just be question marks, but well, it is their turn. These guys move past you, Garrick, and they turn the corner. And as they do, they see the others, and they begin to open fire.
Oh shit.
There's another one that comes up from behind you guys around the corner, taking cover. And there is a fourth one over here that peeks around the corner. And they all begin to open fire on you guys as you're running through the halls. So we're going to roll a d3 here to see who they each shoot. So I've got 4 guys. 1, 2 is Hector. 3, 4 is Violet. 5, 6 is Albeck. Oh my goodness. 1, 1, 2,
right
and
off.
3. So 3 of them at Hector and 1 of them at Violet. All right. Sorry, Hector, you are getting lit up. First one is going to hit you for 2 damage.
Cool.
Second one also does 2 damage.
All right. Well, I'm broken.
Broken. All right. Do you take a critical when you're broken in this game? I don't actually know. No. You don't take an automatic critical. Only if they do more damage to you will they cause a critical. So you are down. The last one shoots but doesn't hit you as you're hitting the ground. And then the other one on Violet misses. Okay. Garrick, your turn. You can see these guys are opening fire on your squad. They are ignoring you. You're not sure if it's because you have the kid or some other reason.
Yeah. Garrick will continue taking the kid outside.
Okay. Are you running towards your spinner or just getting out of the building?
Getting out of the building.
Okay, when you get out here, you see that there is an unmarked black spinner that is landed over here with the engine running, and you can see that it's armed similar to the LAPD ones. It's got like the little machine gun thing, and then this one obviously has like a small dual little rocket launcher.
Jesus Christ. Okay. Yeah, I'll go over to that.
Violet.
I'm going to run and take cover in this room here.
Okay.
So I'm going to drop Lilith at that point,
Yep.
unfortunately.
Okay. Makes sense.
I'm going to run into here and try and look for a window or any other way to the outside.
There is not. No, the windows are actually marked on the map. There is no window here.
Okay. Is there any other doors into other rooms from here?
No, that's the only one.
Shit.
You still have an action if you'd like to do anything.
Can I can't fire and then hide back behind here without getting shot at again next round, can I? I would be, if I shoot at them, I open myself up.
Correct, but they only have to move one zone and then they're going to be able to see you, because this hallway here is one big zone.
Is one zone.
So,
All right. I mean, I guess I'll pop a shot at him and keep into cover.
okay. Which one are you shooting?
Whatever one is closest.
One of the two at the beginning or end of the hall here.
I can't see him anymore because I'm in here, so I can pop out into the
Yeah.
door and so this guy's the closest.
Yeah, or this one at the end of the hall.
All right.
Either one.
I will. I'll fire at this guy.
Okay.
All right. It'll be a long shot here. All right. One success.
All right, 2 damage.
All right.
Okay. Next up is Silas.
Okay, so Chris, these doors in the hallway, do they open out into the hallway?
Yes.
Okay, so would that count as an act to like go behind, like open one and go behind it as like cover, and then shoot from there?
Hey, you could do that. That's fine.
Okay, so yeah, this door would be open and he'd be behind it, so he's taking cover behind it even though it's just a door, and
Sure.
he will open fire on the one in the hallway
Gotcha.
with us. So Jesus. And then would he be considered behind cover?
No, he's not right now.
Oh, he's just out. Okay.
Yeah, I didn't give Violet the penalty, so.
Okay.
Okay, another 2 damage.
You know what?
You gonna push it? Fish for that critical?
I mean, I'm gonna give it a shot.
A prayer? A swing?
Oh wait, it's giving me I could select the dice to push. Why is that?
Yeah, you don't have to re-roll the eyeball if you don't want to.
Oh, okay.
You're only locked into the ones.
Really? Damn.
Yeah.
Oh, it pays off. A critical will do another point of damage, and more importantly, roll on the critical table, please.
That's piercing?
Yeah, piercing critical injuries.
Okay.
This is where you want to get high. Or get it to.
Hand impaled.
And impaled. Okay, well, that will give him. You shoot him, and you see, like the gun kind of drops as he's holding it in 2 hands. It drops from 1 hand as you strike him. Hector, you are down. All you can really do is crawl. You can crawl 1 zone.
Yeah, I'd
if you
like
so
to
choose.
get behind a door.
Yeah, you
somewhere.
crawl past Silas there. Okay.
Pardon me. There aren't any windows in this room either.
There is not. All right, Silas, you see this guy falls back from whence he came. The other 2 up here start taking cover. One guy around the corner, and the other guy in the doorway, just like you're doing. And then the guy behind you guys moves up into this room over here, taking cover by the door. The 2 in front are going to shoot at you, Silas. And they will obviously you'll have cover as they attack. How does this work? Target behind cover, there we go. All right, he misses. And the other one opens fire, same thing. He also misses. Bullets chewing through the door. Violet, this one's gonna shoot, but I'll give you cover since you're in the doorway and like trying to peek out here. But he scores a hit, 2 damage.
Oh, all right, I'm down.
All right, you can hear like over their comms, Silas. You can hear target down, and there's 1 left. Garrick, you're running towards this unmarked vehicle.
Yeah.
All right. You get there. You see that there is a pilot, all in black, just like these guys are. What do you do as you near this vehicle?
Is like the window open? Can I talk to the guy or?
As you near it, you see the door does open and the guy has a gun pointed at you.
Did Quell send you?
That's not your concern.
All right, well, I'm giving the girl to you.
You can't read his expression under his helmet, but his body language suggests that he's thinking, what the fuck are you talking about?
Oh, I thought they were here for the girl. I don't know.
Just stay out of our way.
Okay. Yeah, I'll go back to my fucking spinner and just wait.
Okay. Violet's down. Silas, you're the only one standing. You've got 3 of these guys coming at you from both sides.
Okay, so Silas would retreat back into this room and close the door.
Okay.
And probably try and help Hector with medical.
All right, give me a medical aid roll.
Okay.
Every success will replenish a point of health.
And I wouldn't be able to use my Kia right now, right?
Sure. I mean, you could do something really basic or quick.
Okay. I would thumb it to the chief and I would say, get everyone here now.
All right.
And I have
Okay.
1 success for medical aid.
All right, Hector, you get a point of health back. You're back in the fight, and it is your turn.
Well,
We're surrounded.
very cool.
You close
What
the door,
about
right,
Violet?
Silas?
Yes.
Okay.
He's closed the door. We're just trapped in here. I don't really have a whole lot of other cool stuff to do. I am terrible at shooting. I don't know. I guess quickly reviewing from the giant dome that I was briefly in, that's all like a very sealed in science lab, not like a glass biodome with a bunch of exit ports that we could jump through.
No.
Cool. Cool. I think I'm gonna. I don't want to be in the hallway. I can shoot into another zone. Is that how it works?
Yeah. I mean, you could peek out and shoot the guy that's in the hallway coming down the path. The guy to the south.
Okay. What's going on with these?
Yeah. So you could shoot this guy down here.
This grid is kind of weird.
Yeah. I didn't set it up. Don't blame me.
All right. Well, whatever. Doesn't matter on that side. I don't want to be in the hallway, but.
That's fine.
Anyway.
That's fine. Just make your shot.
All right. This is gonna just be a brick anyway, so I
Yeah,
don't
you
know.
don't have to worry about targeting in this one because they don't have defenses. So just fire your gun.
He's not a large target or anything, is he?
No.
Okay. Cool.
Hey.
That is a hit.
Well, I got
1
one.
damage. Oh, you got the small gun. Okay.
I have
You
the
hit him,
small
though.
gun and I have a broken hand, so I have disadvantage at shooting anyway. So
Well, you still hit him.
I hit
Okay.
him for a pittance.
All right. Next round. I assume you close the door then and hop back in cover.
Oh sure, yeah, why not?
All right. They start firing at the door. Pieces of it are flying off, and they're going to be through next round if you guys don't do something. Garrick, you're in your spinner. What do you do?
Really nothing at this point. Thinks he's made his decision.
Are you just waiting? Or are you leaving?
He'll send a message to Quell. I've got Lilith's daughter.
Okay.
I guess that'll be it for now.
You do see one of the guys come running out, clutching his hand, and he makes his way towards the spinner.
Okay.
Violet, you are able to crawl. This guy goes past you. Obviously, they're focused on your on Silas, who is still up. All you can do is crawl into another zone. What do you do?
All right. Sec. Am I able to get on my Vox or no?
No, you can't really do any actions when you're
Okay.
crippled. I mean, who are you trying to call here?
I guess he already called the chief. I was going to call for backup.
Yeah, I mean, you guys know that they called for the ambulance at least, so I think at this point it's safe to assume that it's been reported.
Okay.
All right, Silas.
Yeah, we're gonna just do the usual. Well, the opening the door and fucking with them. Oh, they're right fucking there. Shit. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, they're shooting the door
Yeah.
and just riddling it with bullets. So, go ahead.
Yep. Here comes a firearm. All right.
Whoa.
That's
Okay,
great.
that is a critical, and that's going to do 4 damage. Roll me the critical, please.
3 successes is nice.
Okay. You're saying high. Give me high. Give me high. Give me high.
Should do the escalation thing, right? Oh god.
Shattered head, instant death. We got a man down.
And then.
Hector,
Well,
you see the body collapse against the wall directly across from you. You can see through all the holes in the door.
Yeah. I'm gonna cheer on Silas. Yo, way to go! But also sort of slightly move over. Oh, hello. Wait, is this closed or open? Or how busted is this door?
Busted enough.
Yeah, they're in next round, so.
Yeah.
Oh, it doesn't matter, does it? Okay, is readying an action a thing?
No.
Is I just want to not be shot immediately. So what I'm gonna do
Good luck with
is
that.
no, maybe I should get shot immediately. Look, if I could take a bullet for Silas, he can actually finish this fight, which I can't do. So I'm gonna just kind of stand in this corner, and pull the key out and and give a more descriptive sort of communication, like multiple assailants, mercenaries in heavy armor, or heavily armed, as it were.
Yeah. Okay.
Officers down.
Okay. Well, they, Silas, you can see the one from the south moves past the door. They open fire one last time as they are clearly falling back. They're each going to take a shot at you, each one of you. So the first one on Silas. I'll give you guys cover here, since they're shooting through the door and you guys are trying to, you know, hold your way. Oh,
least
critical on Silas. Hold on to your butts.
Scattered head.
I don't think you can get shattered head because that's a 12. This is only a D10.
Oh. Well, that's nice.
But it is 3 3 damage.
Ouch.
Shoulder hit. Okay, just like Violet had. Put that on your sheet. All right. And the other one is going to shoot at Hector as he runs past. And then they're going to move into the next zone. Clearly retreating. You hear them, you know, go, fall back. Oh no, another critical. Hector. Oh my god, my desk is falling apart. What the fuck? Oh boy. All right, here we go. You take 2. Well, you take 3 damage. So
Well,
assuming you're
I'm at
broken
1,
again.
so
Yep.
I'm down. Now what?
Bleeding gut.
That's not a good one.
Any mobility roll reopens the wound. This is fatal or lethal, but it's a shift. So you've got time before you bleed out. I don't know how you can like have 8 hours before you bleed out, but clearly you do.
From a gut shot.
Yeah,
An
right.
internal
It's just-
bleeding.
and then they are booking it. You can see that they're retreating. Garrick, you sitting still? You're getting all sorts of things on the dispatch, warnings. You can see messages coming through from Hector and Silas. You know, we're under heavy attack. You know, ETA 3 minutes till arrival for backup, stuff like that.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess I'll put the kid in the car and then go back in.
Whatever you want to do, man. I'm just asking if you want to do anything particular here.
And this is your car you're talking about, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
not
Not just any random car. Or
not the
the
souped up
Black
car.
Ops car.
Yeah, I'll lock the car, tell her stay here, and I'll go back in.
All right, so you're running back towards the front. Violet, you're down. Silas, what are you doing? You can tell that they're retreating. They're falling back.
Okay, yeah. At this point, once again, go back to Hector and see if I can help with medical aid.
Okay, go ahead.
God damn.
Wow.
This guy.
You get 3 wounds back.
Silas MVP.
Or he can get rid of the critical wound on you. One or the other.
Mm-hmm.
I think he'd probably try to stop the bleeding first, to be honest.
Probably.
So you
Yeah,
can get rid of the bleeding gut. So you're still at 0, but you're not dying.
Okay.
And now there's a cat in my face. Okay. Garrick,
Mhm.
on your turn, you see 2 of the soldiers round the corner. They see you, point their guns at you as they're moving, and then they lower their guns and move past you and head towards the spinner. Obviously running in a rush. Do you do anything?
I will take a shot at them.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
When do you shoot at them?
What?
Like when they're
Uh,
coming towards you?
No,
Okay.
after they're like over here.
Okay. I'll give you a shot at advantage.
Oh, nice. Do I have to target them like normal?
No. Just roll for advantage. Roll your gun, your weapon.
Okay. I go tasteless. Advantage.
Oh, another critical. Roll me the D12. Which one are you shooting? The one on the left or the right?
We'll go left.
Okay.
So just roll a d12.
Roll on the critical table.
Oh, rip. Okay.
Piercing.
Roll the critical table.
Make sure it's a D12 you roll.
It says roll formula d12. Should be good. Okay.
Brains
Oh.
blown up. Instant death. He drops as you shoot him in the back of the head. The last guy running. All right. Silas, what are you doing on your turn? You hear gunshots from outside. Well, a gunshot, I should say.
Oh, fuck. So, Silas would look down at Hector and say, are you stable?
I think I'll make it.
Alright. And he would venture out and probably make his way to the front.
All right. You can do mobility if you want to try to gain some ground here.
Now, will it add the... Oh, yeah, it does. It adds the shoulder hit. Cool.
Okay, you can move 2 zones. That's 1, 2 would be this zone right here.
Okay.
All right. So, top of the round, this will probably be it here. This last guy hops in the spinner. As he does, he turns and takes a shot at you as he's closing the door. And then you see the spinner begins to take off. But he misses.
Do you want to push it?
I think he would because you shot his buddy in the back. I
Back of
think
the
he'd
head.
be pretty pissed. Yeah, I think
That makes sense.
that would make sense.
Come
here.
on, get
Um,
double
oh, wait.
eights or something.
It doesn't. It doesn't give me the option. I just have to roll it again for some reason. Maybe because it's an NPC. I don't know.
It's weird.
Hey, do you?
Nothing. Okay. Well, I guess he's a replicant, so I could do it again.
Yeah, do it again.
Why not?
Whoa,
3D
spoilers.
tens.
Okay, he takes a point of damage himself, and you get shot for 2 damage.
Okay.
He then slams the door shut. And you see the window goes up from the one guy, the pilot, and the spinner takes off and begins speeding off into the night, disappearing into the black. As this happens, a couple minutes later, you see and then hear the sirens as backup finally arrives, and police spinners begin to descend on the carnage of the memory lab. Silas, you see Garrick standing in the doorway firing. When you get outside, you see that there is one of these guys dead on the ground. You might see the spinner disappearing into the distance.
Silas would kind of look at Garrick, then the body, then the rapidly exiting spinner, and then back to Garrett and say, "The girl."
She's safe. I didn't see her like break out of my car, did she?
No.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, she's safe.
okay. The scene is secured. Medical attention is brought in for Hector and Violet, who are taken out by ambulance to go get medical attention. Unfortunately, Leah is dead by the time you guys get any medical attention to her. She has bled out and died from her injuries. It looks like Terry, the clerk, was killed as well.
I
knew it. I knew it.
Yeah.
The explosion in the front took him out. The next couple days go by, and some of this makes the news. Most of it is quickly kind of discredited by the Wallace Corporation. What information do you guys give in your final report to the chief? We'll say the two of you a couple days later. The other two are still in the hospital. They had some pretty bad injuries. But Garrick and Silas, we find the two of you in Chief Holden's office for a debrief. Well, tell me what the fuck happened.
Garrick
Well,
will just defer
oh.
to you.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that was
Yeah, Silas would take his hat off and say, well, Chief, I think what happened here was we did have a replicant go rogue. I think it was due to the shoddy work of Lilith Terrell making traumatic memories. And the replicants found out about the process, and I don't think Leah took to it too well. And with all of her failed baseline tests, she was not in her right frame of mind. So she kept saying she just wanted to get off world. I think she was just running from whatever trauma that got put into her head by this science business.
Well, I guess it's done. Anything else?
I don't think Silas would have anything else to really offer.
Is there anything that Silas leaves out of his report when this is all said and done?
I don't think so, no.
Okay. Garrick, is there anything you leave out of your report? Other than you were talking to Quell on the side?
yeah, I leave that out for sure. No, I mean, like, it all seems pretty important, and as long as it wouldn't incriminate him, which The only thing that would incriminate him is possibly the talking to Quellon side.
Do either of you, what do the two of you each say? I want you to each answer this separately. What do you each say about the guys that attacked you at the end?
Oh, Silas would just describe them as, what they were wearing and, like the tech they had, the tactical gear, the weaponry, and then
Okay.
if he noticed anything that like kind of stands out in terms of,
No, they have no markings or symbols or anything like that.
yeah,
Yeah.
he would be curious as to ascertain the identity of the guy whose head he perforated, but yeah.
You're
Besides,
able to identify that they're replicants, but other than that, there's nothing.
oh, okay.
Like probably that they belong to a specific baseline of model, but
Oh.
not like the specifics.
Yeah, then he would just describe
Okay.
him as much as he could.
Do we know if they were like M8s?
They're N9s.
Okay. Jeez.
Most they are N9s. Fuck. Cool. Fucking perforated an N9.
But
Yeah.
all the information on them seems to be purposefully hard
Voided.
to get to. Yep.
Yeah, Garrick would just describe them, and the time that previous time that Lilith Tyrell was attacked, she was attacked by people in basically the same kind of gear, just all black armor, machine guns.
You have no idea about
Oh.
the people that attacked her.
Okay.
All you
Yes.
know is the people in Leah's memory were like wearing black, but they were not. Silas does not describe them as like SWAT team guys like these guys were.
Okay. Then yeah, they'll just describe them as SWAT teams, machine guns.
Okay. Hector and Violet, obviously you're not at the chief's office, but you would make reports as well. Is there any evidence that either of you do not put in your report?
No, I don't think I have anything to hide.
Other than letting Styles escape?
Oh, that's more on my end, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'll mention that I overheard people talking about Leah. I convinced my captors to use the John, and the squad broke in just then,
Okay.
and he was gone by the time I re-entered the room.
What do the two of you say about the squad that attacked you at the end?
I guess I try to describe them as best I can, but it was probably pretty foggy for most of the fight, I'm guessing.
Okay. Hector?
I guess some like Black Hood and mercenary guys that came in and shot up the place and suddenly left. They arrived seconds after we called in an ambulance. I think.
Yeah.
They probably were alerted by something else, unless they were already there.
Yeah, you're not sure. None of you saw them, but they could have been hiding. You're not sure.
And pretty clearly weren't working with Leah or replicants as far as we could figure out.
Okay. So, ultimately what happens here is you guys give your reports. Nothing major comes of it. The identity of the hit squad remains unknown, other than they are N9s, but beyond that, nothing to really figure out or deduce. Life returns to normal for the most part for most of you. You seem to have solved the case. You've discovered that Leah was indeed a rogue N9, probably due to the traumatic memories that were meant to control her, and they seem to have done the opposite. The reputation of Lilith Tyrell is probably somewhat tarnished a bit, but with her death, it probably isn't all that relevant either. Sarah will most likely end up in some sort of foster care, as she does not have any other family. And we will end as we see Garrick back in his apartment. Garrick, you're sitting at the table, and there's a message that comes in on your Kia.
Yeah, he would look at it.
It is from your favorite NPC.
Oh no.
It says, "Poor choice, detective." And that, ladies and gentlemen, is where we're going to call it. Thank you so much for joining us. I hope you've enjoyed this journey as much as we have. This has been an absolute blast. Thank you,
Yeah.
players, for sticking
With-
with it. This was awesome. And great inner turmoil between the players. I loved Garrick's little side thing. And Matt letting Styles go, and Silas almost having a mental breakdown, and then trying to talk Leah down, and Violet just putting Leah down like it's nobody's business, man. What a fucking finale. That was awesome. So, listeners, thank you so much. We'll return to the rain-soaked streets of LA in the future. But be sure to join us next week as we start up our next campaign, which is going to be the Swedish doom metal RPG Mörkbor. We'll be back with a full cast of 4 again as we dive into that for a few weeks. So thank you again all so much for joining us, and we will see you next time. Be sure you don't get lost like tears in rain. Nighty night.